my whip, you lost your mind. You talk too much, I fuck my grind. By end of day, she bugged my ride. You take what you can, you take what you can, then take what you can. My blood is on the toll, yeah. Take what you can, I can breathe out it all, yeah. Trapped in my bottle, I'm seeing double. Don't know if I can make it, overdose taken. All of a sudden, now I'm in a bottle. Devil overtaking, legend in the making. Legend in the making, my heart isn't breaking. Pills make me feel alright, so I'm taking. Lost in her game, I need a breather. She won't care, I guess me either. Fighting battles, I got demons by you add more. If anything beyond, guess I get a high score. Till death do us part, you're the one who needs a nurse, yeah. If they catch me dead, then it's you who got the curse. But you take what you can, yeah, you take what you can. You know I really don't care, yeah. Nothing left to repair, you go and take what you can. Let it all out, let it all out. Alright. We're live. Hope all y'all doing good as always. React Monday. First off, daily Lil Autizmo TikTok. Mamma mia, pizzeria. Mamma mia, pizzeria. Bye bye. Oh. Ava. Pause. Look at this. You're dead. How did I die? Punch the shit out of me. Fingers! Where? I had it. Sticks in my eye. Pause. Nice. This might be better putting like clips together. Probably. There's two of them. What the? Are they having sex with each other? Why is there two? Bro looted me. Let's get it mixed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ada. I want to trade. Gotta go that way.
Listen, serious.
That actually scared me. You fuck. I don't know how. I don't want to deal with this. What was that? Oh! I am him. Bro, dabbing. Oh! No. Holy shit. Sticks in my ass. Pause. I almost died. Uh-oh. Nope, you died. I guess I am dead. Oh no. Buzzard? Help. It came from behind. Pause on that. Yup. Bro, running. Like he got a dookie. Good timing though. It's crazy. I guess he dookie. I guess so.
Pingers! They're out there, we'll find them.
Yeah. What the dog doing? Hell no. Who do you think you are? Boomba clap! With your bitch ass. Pro thought it was him. Came up swinging. I had to show him. Buzzard? Help. Surely. 5 hearts. Hey. Hey, 2 bookmarks. Hey, appreciate that. Hey, that's what's up. In Spectrum, 3 devil emoji. I mean, you're not wrong.
Bang.
Bang. Autizmo, no. You forgot the Z and Lil in the beginning. But alright. Alright. Stay hydrated. Okay. Anyway, let's get to the links. Ho ho ho.
Dude, I got a girl. Me too, bro. Nice. Where is she from? She's from another nation. Which nation? My imagination.
Okay.
My girlfriend lives by the sea. Which sea? My fantasy.
Okay.
Bro, are we ever gonna get a real woman? I don't know, man. We just gotta keep trying. There's plenty of fish in the sea, I've heard. And hopefully we'll go in the same sea as your
Phone's
fantasy.
underrated, yeah.
Can someone just explain French to me? It's Spanish, but you speak it in cursive. You have 11 letters. You pronounce 4 of them. Learn to speak Spanish. Now learn to speak Italian. Now subtract the Spanish from Italian. You are left with French. Latin, but then make it fashion.
Cover the second half of the word, squint, and pronounce only the vowels you think you see.
Kermit.
Gargling bat with air.
Dude, what the f? Why are you f***ing here, man? You're so old. Where's your wife? Go home to your family, dude.
Why would you even visit your old school? The fuck? That's facts. What a loser. Memories? Nah. Never had any good memories. 60% of people addicted talking alone, creating an imaginary person that never exists, and creating scenarios that never happen is called maladaptive daydreaming or mental illness. 60% of people? That's a lot. You daydream? What? Full time? No, I don't do that. Imaginary person, like imaginary friend or girlfriend, every night, every day. That's sad, bro. Nah.
Don't mess with the Zilla. Obey the Zilla. Buzzilla!
Hey, yo.
Will exterminate the Jews.
Juice. Nah, but he didn't say juice.
Exterminate the Jews.
I did not hear juice. I heard, yeah.
Why aren't people having kids anymore? Because no one has a spare $300,000. It's the same reason I haven't bought a sapphire mine recently. It's just a tad too expensive. I don't want to spend money on a kid. I freeze my bread to make it last longer. I'm cheap. Look, it's not even a joke. It's just a good tip. I don't even spend the fake money I earn in video games.
What do you
Here's
mean
a better
freeze
question.
your
Why do
bread?
the people who had kids before choose to make it feel impossible to have kids now, and how can they help fix that? The closest I'm gonna get to having kids is rewatching the first season of Stranger Things. But who's gonna take care of you when you're old? I don't know. Probably an AI android with a voice just different enough from Scarlett Johansson's for it to be legal.
Hey, Android, let's go. Fuck iPhone.
To last longer. You get a frozen bread to last longer. Bro be eating bricks. Damn, they can climb up fast. Why are they fighting? Chill out, bro. Why they beefing? Why they beefing, bro? Chill out. One of them is gonna fall, no? I mean, if someone does fall, I think they'll be fine, though. I think. The guy who has a camera is an asshole. Asshole cat POV. Other dude just running away, chilling. I have the high ground type shit. Some cats don't know how to climb down. That one knows, I guess. That's cool. Head down, though. That's crazy. They're climbing head down. The fuck? That's like some risky shit. But cats have it easy in life, do they? I don't know. If you're a pet, then sure, yeah. But if you're a wild cat, I don't know.
I want to be ninja.
Huh?
I want to be ninja. I want to chop, 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 chop down.
Okay. That's fucked up, though. What the fuck is this? Huh? Fuck, what's that? You and me? No. Those two were tea bags, but I think those were supposed to be some drug packs or something. Fuck. Alternative cuts. YouTube. Very good edits. I don't know how was that even possible. Damn, Gus. Everyone trying to kill Gus, man. He passed. Russia. About Prussia, I guess. Yeah, defeating them. Turkey. I don't know, grinding type shit. Greece. Defeating Ottoman Empire. Alright. Serbia. The fucking Austria-Hungary shit, I think. Defeating them. You would say freedom. Hoorah! Germany. Manufacturing? Fuckering. What? Albania. I don't know. Soldier type shit. Bulgaria. Land. Interesting. China. The Wall of China. Japan. I don't know. Imperialism. Which Bulgaria are you fighting for? Nice. Huh? They just got a ferry? The fuck? Oh, hell nah. That's the wackest one I ever seen. France. Ooh la la. Defeating Norway? In France? Romania? I don't know. Poland? I don't know. Soldier. Alright. Wait, what? Oh, it's come back to life or friends live 1,000 years? If I was dead, I would probably come back to life. I value my life a lot. I want to live. Give me, hey, I'll appreciate that. What? Romania? The fuck going on in Romania? Classic Romanian bear activities. Bro is pranking. Cars have to dodge that now.
Would you edge to this golf for $1 million?
I mean,
I don't know how many times
that's a lot of money.
Say this, but please stop. Since November of 2023, we're talking 6 months, this meme has refused to die. You guys are just beating a dead horse at this point. There's also still a ton of people green screening this dance from the Serbian lady, but the main focal point of this video for me is this screenshot image of my face in the heart.
Yeah, if you keep talking,
deeply disturbing.
If you keep talking about something, stop. People are not gonna stop.
I hate this image right here because it makes me look like somebody that's not allowed to be within 100 feet of an elementary school. To make matters worse, people are also still putting AI voice versions of myself putting words in my mouth. Check this out. You know what's crazy? This I don't know Sterling like yapping meme is still massive. Massive. I'm seeing ones that I've never seen before that are popping up with millions of views and likes. The one thing I will say about that video is it is relatively accurate to how shocked I am that there's still this type of content being put out. It's also gotten to the point that if and when I get recognized in public, I've had people come up telling me I've got a level 10 Giat. So please let the meme just fade off into 2023. It should not be in 2024.
Not gonna happen. It's the internet, bro. Those memes are so dumb. What the fuck? Bro just ruined water. Real businessman. Scammed them. It's not oil. It's just black water or some shit. Oh, my bad.
Don't mess with the Zilla. Obey the Zilla. Zilla. Dino destruction.
What the gecko doing?
Don't mess with the Zilla. Obey the Zilla. Buzzilla. Dino destruction.
Pause on that. Italian Americans. Irish is more popular? Damn. What? That's crazy. Imagine. They should have kept alcohol banned in America. Uh-oh. GG. Okay. That's kind of interesting. Be poor but happy. Be rich but depressed. Honestly, I'll be rich but depressed. My music gonna go crazy. Blue AFAX. I'd be poor and be happy because forced to be red, yeah, same. Me and bro standing outside depressed as fuck. Yeah. Some anime shit though. Hell no. I'm never gonna be an anime character. Country is the king of. Hey, king of atheism. Let's go. King of nukes. Oh, hell no. King of hating Belarus. Latvia going crazy. What the fuck? King of the Baltics. What a loser, bro. King of soap. Bruh. King of colonization. Why would you ever say that though? That's horrible. What's you? King of the Balkans. You know what? Yeah, low key. King of expansion. What do you mean by that? Hold up. The fuck? King of getting invaded? Damn. Alright. King of football. Should have been colorized. Huh. I guess. More of those. Bro, this cat always wants beef. Let him go, bro. What they doing? This cat is an asshole, bro. Like, bro, just chasing everyone. Get that motherfucker. Nah, bruh. Let him chill. Like, what's your problem, bro? Breathing. Oh, bro, beefing for no reason. Like, bro just sees red. Oh, no. RIP? Yeah, that's fur from that cat. That cat probably gonna get a disease and die. Open wound, man. Yeah, I don't know. Those are kind of scary to watch. Damn, it's like no English. Weird ass cat.
I'm kind of tired of Western countries trying to steal the show when it comes to slavery. Like, black slavery in the Americas was the only form of slavery throughout history. And as a person of Slavic origins, I'm here to officially request reparations for what my people have been through. Just joking. But did you know the word slave actually originates from the Slavic people? Because for centuries throughout medieval Europe, you had Western Europe, Vikings, North Africa, or the Ottoman Empire enslaving the Slavs. Because the Slavic tribes were too busy fighting each other and made for easy targets. And everyone else also considered them pagans anyway. But whatever my people went through, I refuse to identify as a victim today. And even though Eastern Europeans get discriminated against all the time, we don't suffer from a victim complex like people in the West. We just work hard and get shit done. Life's tough. Get a helmet, man.
Yeah, like, why you're living in the past? Who cares? Slavery is over, bro. Grow up. It's facts.
So there's a conspiracy theory about a movie.
I'm not fucking crying 24/7 because fucking, I don't know, USSR occupied Estonia. Like, I'm not crying. Like, bro, move on. Shit happened. It is what it is.
That came out last year. It's called The Sound of Freedom. That whole thing is trying to give awareness about child. The theory is that everyone who's gone to the movies to watch it, the movie theaters have like teamed up trying to stop it and reject people from entering. And people say the reason Barbie came out at a similar time as this film was to distract people and keep them away from watching this film. They were trying not to sell tickets, etc. Like, there's an instance where it's like someone tries to buy tickets, they said it's fully sold out. Another where someone goes inside the actual theater and just nobody there. And then it said that they were sold out.
There's no one in here. and then it said that they were sold out.
Another one, the guy comes in, he's like, oh, we have to download the movie. It's going to take an hour. He says we can give you your money back or something like that. They're trying to stop them from watching it. And the two main ones they have been doing turn off the AC so it's hot as hell. Why is it only this one though? Not all the other movies? The lights, when it goes on, the lights stay on the whole time and people complain. So they don't want to stay there and watch the whole thing. There's a deeper conspiracy into that.
Weird. I mean, just watch it from online, bro. Who goes to the cinema anyway? Never get into and why. The Amazing Digital Circus. Never heard of that. This is literally like for fucking toddlers. No? It looks like it's for babies. It's brain rot. I've never seen that. Oh, no. Let me Google. Made by SMG4. I used to watch him, bro. The Mario shit was funny. But I grow up. They made a new channel, Glitch. I had to put the ads on, man. Cause YouTube cucked me.
Get out of here before
No, I just want to see how ass it is.
Wait, what's that?
I'm not gonna watch the whole thing.
Whoa! Clean up on aisle U!
I'm on it, boss! Ow.
6 minutes.
Why are you like this?
Wait. Was that an exit door I saw out there? Is that a way to leave?
What exit? If there was a way to leave, I'm pretty sure we'd have all left by now.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I mean, production looks better, but yeah. Nah. Poppy Playtime. I've heard about it. But yeah. No. Oh, funny thing though, I was thinking to play it on Halloween, but I don't know. It is a horror game. Steven Universe. I did watch like the start of the Steven Universe, but I stopped watching it. I don't know. Yeah, it was just boring. Genshin Impact. Oh hell nah. Your device would explode? Was the only amazing part and all about emotions, yeah. Homestuck. Never heard about it. What even is this? Huh? It's like not even a thing. It's weird. Oh, it's like, oh, it's a comic. I was like, it's not a game. It's not a movie. The fuck is that? It's a comic. That is madness coming down. I mean, it's Disney. Probably dog shit. Scottim Pilgrim. U.S. the World. Never heard of that either. Oh, it's versus the world. It looks like Us. Oh, it's a movie. Have I seen that? I don't know. That actor is familiar though, but I don't know. It's an action comedy though. I do like comedy. Oh no. Meaning the US as the country, yeah. Apparently that was versus the world. That V looks very weak. Story lame. Characters suck. A little funny, but not enough to keep. Alright. One more. You know, I'm just gonna go through all of them. I gotta search them. Five Nights at Freddy's. Hey. All everyone does in this fandom is fight over which is and isn't canon. The plot makes no sense to me, and no amount of 5-hour lore analysis videos will change that. Oh, you love FNAF. But no, it's just a huge miss of random ass lore and character. I'm not really a big fan of FNAF at all. I guess I liked the first FNAF. That was kind of cool. But I don't know. Yandere Simulator. Oh, that was popping in YouTube at the old times. Never played the game though. I feel like it was interesting to watch on YouTube. I don't know. Fortune. Never heard of that. Villain's not scary. Doki Toki. Never played it though, but I have watched it on YouTube. I'm not an anime fan, but I don't know. That was interesting to watch on YouTube. Exposed. Oh no. Who did I watch by? Was it PewDiePie? I don't really remember. You weeb? Nah, bruh. Nah. Shit went crazy though. I don't remember by who. It was someone. I kinda liked it though. I'm no weeb though. That's probably the most weeb shit I ever watched. And actually kinda liked. But yeah, nah. Never heard of this. Yeah, it had the anime look, yeah. Weeb. Okay, wow. Come on, bro. What just happened?
Shut up.
I begin to pass out.
It's like she understood it.
Then my head hit the wall. Boom. Begin to pass out. Then my head hit the wall. Boom.
Nah, that can't be real. Assault, man. Fat ass cat, bro. That ship is strong. Hey, yo. Man, bro. We both cats. Yup. And date a dude who does coke. I mean, they're literally women who love to have abusive husband, which is weird as fuck. They literally love to be treated like shit. I don't get that.
Terrifying truths South Park has told about society, part 1. When men or young boys get essayed, no one cares. In season 10, episode 10, Miss Teacher Bangs a Boy, Ike, who is in kindergarten, begins dating his teacher, who is obviously an adult. And because the teacher is good looking, no one seems to care outside of Kyle and their parents. When Kyle brings it up to Cartman, Kenny, and Stan, they kind of play it off as if it's a cool thing. And when he goes to the cops about it, they say this.
But she's ugly, right?
Well, no, not really. It's the kindergarten teacher, Miss Stevenson.
The blonde?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Some young boys having sex with Miss Stevenson?
Nah.
Yes.
Nice. Nice.
There are current victims of SA and survivors around the world, male and female. And for a long time, it didn't feel like male victims were taken seriously, and maybe because of who they were involved with. And look, at the end of the day, you can call a sheep a cow, but it's still a sheep. And thank God that movements like the Me Too movement happened, because it did shine light on not just women's abuses, but also men's. This was a very dark truth that South Park gave to us over 10 years ago, and even after the airing of this episode, it still took a while for male SA to be taken very serious.
Real shit. Pause.
Do you know why I pulled you over just now, sir? Sorry, I was speeding. I'm gonna have to write you a speeding.
Because my wife is giving birth to my son.
Hi. I was wondering if there are any mothers here who are giving birth to babies and there isn't a father.
A lot.
Oh, thank God. That's excellent.
Hey, hon.
I'm trying to get out of a speeding ticket. Just play along until he leaves.
You're late.
Oh, nah. Okay. Nah, that's crazy. Bro's still there. Not get a ticket, yeah.
All right. I'll let you off with a warning.
Did the cop not age at all? What the fuck? Infinite security, true. Oh, he did? That looks so scary. Oh, hell no. Yeah, imagine if you saw that in real life, right in front of you. It's over. Bang it, what?
It's a 50-50 shot I kick that thing's out.
Damn, bro.
Match. I might die, okay?
Yo,
I know they're strong as fuck, and they kick
Yo,
people's asses. I also heard they drown dogs for fun in Australia, which is kind of crazy. I don't know whether or not that's true, but I've had some Australian people tell me that, and I believe them. Anyways, I still think I could kick the shit out of this fucker. He got short-ass arms. Yeah, he's gonna be kicking me, but I give him the old 1-2, and his ass is on the fucking dirt. He kind of big dogging me, though. That's what's scary.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
That's scary.
How is he gonna kill me?
Imagine he
He'd
just
probably kick me to death.
Five Nights at Freddy jump scares you.
Biting the curb and shit. Oh my god. It would be a long, slow death. He would mangle me. Okay, that one, I'm gonna say 20%. I kicked that one's ass. I'm murdering that one. That one's smaller.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. 38. What is that cat? Looks insane. Huh. Damn. Oh, my bad. Scotland forever. Yeah, it's over. You're dead.
Recently, I got to talk with a bunch of Bulgarian high schoolers. I have a friend. She's an English teacher here in Sofia at a Bulgarian high school, and she invited me in as a native speaker to just chit-chat with their class and answer questions. I was like, yeah, dope. It sounds super fun. Do we need to prep or make a lesson plan or anything? And she was like, no, just show up. Should have prepped, guys. Should have prepped. Because I haven't talked to high schoolers really since I was in high school, and I was not ready for it. And I show up, and I have a lot of, like, happy energy. I'm like, hey, guys, nice to meet you. My name's Donald. I've been living here for 4 years. I'm an American. You can ask me any questions about what it's like for me living here or any questions about America. There's no stupid questions, guys. And immediately my friend, the teacher, goes, yes, there are.
I mean, yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, on that note, does anyone have any questions? And then a guy in the back raises his hand. I'm like, yeah, bro, go ahead. And he's like, yeah. Americans are kind of dumb. That's not a question, my man. I know. So I'm like, okay, does anyone have any questions? And the girl in the front, her hand shoots up, and I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
I don't like those type of comedy. Not interesting. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of dumb Americans. Yeah, why were they deleted? Nah, they had to... Nah, they did some very sus. I guess. Sure. True. Real. It's kind of the same thing. Huh? Bro got dementia? Oh, I fucked up.
The old internet is gone, bro. Let it go.
Bro, who cares about the old internet? That shit's ass. What do you mean, nah?
No.
Nah. My father actually had one of those, and he let me use them. That was kind of cool. Then today, at least back in the day, we all had prints.
Terrifying creatures you don't want to be real. The Allied Master Computer, otherwise known as AM, from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. In an alternate timeline.
Patience. I mean, I guess, but I still have patience. But whatever.
During the events of World
PMG?
War III, Russia,
What?
China, and the United States would all create supercomputers to handle their work for them, designed to cause as much bloodshed against their fellow brethren as humanly possible. After the war, those three supercomputers would blend together into a singular entity, an entity that resented humanity for giving it sentience, but imprisoning it in a machine body. That entity would become known as Am, as in I think, therefore I am. This mechanical nightmare of a
trying to be
being
scary.
would become the master of all technology in our world, an immense power that he would use to eradicate all of humankind in an act of hateful vengeance for his tortured existence. Am did decide to spare 5 hand-picked human beings, but it wasn't an act of mercy,
5.
instead deciding to torture them for an extended period of time in an attempt to kill their souls as opposed to just their physical bodies, an act that some would consider worse than death itself. And since Am is a computer, he also has instant access to all medical research ever recorded, as well as a super intelligence far surpassing our feeble minds, enabling him to keep his victims alive eternally, subjecting them to untold horrors, and making them his playthings forever. This works
I mean,
to
at least they
further
live in
illustrate
forever.
just how evil this entity is, since he could have easily used his power for good,
It's not that evil.
destroying disease and famine on a global scale, but chose not to. However, no being is without a weakness. In Am's case, it's the fact that he is not one singular consciousness, but rather a collection of different and sometimes conflicted artificial persons, trapped within the same hollow shell. But make no mistake, each of those persons is equally powerful, and they all hate humanity because we have what they most desire: freedom. Like this video if you want me to make a series about the 5 humans that Am spared and their stories, and comment if you think that humanity has gone.
No, we'll be fine. Fuck is this? SCP, walking trees. That tree walked. Real, bro. Definitely not photoshopped or in a different angle. Just fun.
You bitch! Queso! What the Sigma? By the orders of Turkish Quandale Dingle, I am
What?
authorized to edge you both and transport you and your grandma to Ohio. Is it wet? Oh, really? You on what yacht? Listen, little bitch, go ahead and edge me. I can last.
This is cursed. That angle was crazy though.
Nice yacht. No! I'm the group leader, you know? Grab the stick and hold the balls. Did you even go to the TikTok wrist party? I'd smash you. What's your name?
Shrek. That just ruined Shrek, man, bro. Hell no, bro. Yeah, they failed. CCCP. Sure, bro.
Excuse me, miss. Sorry to disturb you.
This will be me? What?
It's just that my friend is missing, and I could need every hint I can get to... Bro, what the fuck are you doing? Is this a joke or something? Dude, your parents are worried sick. I was worried. I thought you died and no one's found your body yet. And who the fuck is she?
Mommy!
Mommy me hungry.
There you go. Good boy.
Ugh.
Let's go home.
Yeah. Nasty, Don't know how that happens. Yeah, they just down bad or something. And they trying to kill you. Hell no. Zombies don't care that you're human. Oh, my bad.
My name is Walter Hartwell White. I live at 308 Negra Arroyo Lane, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87104.
Yeah, GG. Kinda happened to you. Hell no. Scary or scary? Oh, let me guess. It's scary. The middle of nowhere was an actual place located in New Mexico. The elder couple who owned the house with their dog repeatedly witnessed many strange incidents. They once reported seeing a creature they identified as a skinwalker. They were probably high on crack or something. After reporting that they had saw the family disappear under strange circumstances, only the dog was found. Stupid dog, you made me look bad. W show though. Huh? I guess that's supposed to make me feel like small, like nothing. Something like that. Yeah, space is huge, Mo. It's insane.
Who's worse out of these three?
It's insane we're functioning.
The Judge, Leto the Second, or AM from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Judge has made children go missing, killed innocent men, thrown puppies off of bridges, and even raped some people. Leto the Second oppressed the whole universe, fought wars in the name of the Golden Path, and was just overall a tyrannical dictator. AM wiped out the whole human race, except for 5 people, keeping them alive in a continuous hell, subjecting them to thousands of years of torture. Eventually, it only got down to 1 person left, and he made him look like this, a jelly-like monster who has no mouth and must scream.
It's worse, easy.
Плевать на тех, кому я не
Feel like a failure? Always remember, Yeltsin was so bad he united Tsarists, communists, and Nazbols against him. Yeah, I imagine. Facts. Yep.
Petting your dog is one of the most relaxing
Classic.
things you can possibly do.
Right.
It releases a hormone called oxytocin, which reduces stress. Also, it lowers your heart rate.
How can you have that thing?
It lowers your blood pressure. Plus, people who pet their dogs are 5 times more likely to live longer than people who just have cats.
Come on, boy.
Oh, hell no.
Come on, boy.
Princess.
Come on, Cass. Come on. Come on. Come on, boy. Good boy. Look at that boy. Good.
Bro just snapped his neck, no? I'm pretty sure pugs are like all incest. Ugly as hell.
Kids don't play outside anymore. A recent
Ooh, this gonna be interesting.
survey found that only 27% of children learn, explore, and find their independence outside of the house. Just 50 years ago, it was 80%. People
Gen
give
Alpha.
a variety of different reasons for this, but everyone agrees that it isn't healthy, and it's really dystopian and freaky. I mean, kids are missing out on their playtime, of actually exploring the world, understanding how it works, seeing the sights of nature, coming together with groups of other children, and learning social dynamics. They're missing out on some of the
I'll be honest, I as a kid, I really didn't go outside as much. But
best moments of their childhoods, and it has a bunch of negative effects later down the line. Things which you might recognize in your own experiences, which is why society is drifting into a deep loneliness epidemic. People, especially in Generation Z and Generation Alpha, are becoming more and more alienated from their communities.
That's
Nobody
AIDS.
knows their neighbors. Nobody feels a part of a society. But it wasn't always this way. And so to understand why this is happening, and why kids don't play outside anymore, we need to understand a different period, 50 years ago back in time, and see what went so horribly wrong and how we can fix this.
The internet.
IKEA Family Klubi hüved on sul alati käepärast. IKEA.
Novatursi suvereiside soodusmüük on alanud. Sind ootab 13.
Going back 50 years, for the kids growing up in the 70s or the 80s, life was a completely different story. It was the opposite from today. Kids weren't cooped up inside playing Fortnite and watching gamers. Instead, they were actively pushed out of the house, and their parents would only call them back for dinner hours later. Most of the time, kids didn't have any guidance or supervision. They had to make their own fun, build their own relationships with other kids, and create their own memories. The process of being bored and creating an answer for your own boredom is key. But today, it's been numbed so much that it's incredibly rare. All of the skills that kids learned during these formative years gave them what they needed to succeed later on. Plus, it gave lots of kids a much needed break from their home life. Kids with rough childhoods could find a few precious hours of freedom. They could come together with their friends, learn how to navigate social dynamics, and in turn, learn how to be functioning adults. But the first nail in the coffin came when the boomers took charge and started raising the next generation. The 1980s. This was the decade of stranger danger. It was the first time that serial killers were now widely known across America. People were terrified of these names like Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy.
Bundy was being sought for questioning in the deaths of at least 38 women from Seattle, Washington to Tallahassee, Florida, and was just last week placed on the FBI's 10 most wanted list.
And with the Stranger Danger campaign, it taught kids across the US and the rest of the West to be intimately afraid of being whisked away in a white van from a man offering candy.
You've taught your children to be polite and friendly.
I mean, that's good to tell them.
Hi
Don't trust a stranger.
Do you live
around here?
Uh-huh.
You going to school?
Yes.
Well, I could give you a ride.
Last year, 50,000 children disappeared. many of them from nice, safe neighborhoods.
It's a ridiculous idea once you actually look at the statistics. One study actually looked at nearly 800,000 cases of missing children and found that only 1 in 10,000 were cases of stereotypical kidnapping. 99.9% of the time, the kids were with another family member, had run away by themselves, or there was some other explanation. Of course, this didn't stop the 80s news media taking the story of a kidnapping epidemic and running with it.
So there wasn't really that much kidnapping. Man, the news and shit, they just make it look like it's more frequent or something.
Often they take one isolated story and blow it up into a nationwide frenzy. In '82, CBS told their audience of parents that 50,000 kids were being kidnapped by strangers every single year, which is an outrageous claim that was disproven multiple times. But the message was already out. The stranger danger hysteria was everywhere, and it wasn't too long before it reached the highest levels of government. President Reagan put together a special task force specifically dedicated to warning people about the malevolent forces outside of the house.
Come on, help me. Talk to your children about not talking to strangers. And do it today. A message for your child's safety from the American Medical Association.
Warning parents to keep a close eye on their children. Ironically, the whole craze had probably a lot of negative effects on the health and well-being of thousands of children, if not hundreds of thousands. Either it locked them inside with the people who were actually hurting them, or they got lost or put in a bad situation and were too afraid to ask random people for help. One 11-year-old Boy Scout who got lost was too afraid of the people searching for him because they were strangers, and so he actively hid from them. Even today though, you can trace the need to keep children under lock and key to these measures. It's gone so bad that multiple people have been arrested for simply letting their kids walk alone to school or play alone outside. In 2022, one mum was arrested for child endangerment for letting her kids play alone at the park. It didn't matter that she had left them in the care of a family friend. She was added to the Central Registry, which in Arizona means that she could be barred from working with children for the next 25 years. Stories like this highlighted how crazy the US and the rest of the West have gotten about safeguarding children to the point that they've completely lost their independence. Breeding this fear of strangers and therefore of the outside world changed a whole generation's perspective. That fear of the unknown directly interferes with that crucial process of discovery and exploration that kids need to experience early on in their lives. Without it, they could be left scarred and afraid for the rest of their life. It's no wonder anxiety levels have skyrocketed. At the end of the day though, this still doesn't really explain the massive changes we've seen in how kids play. Tons of kids won't have ever listened to the stranger danger nonsense. Instead, physical changes that you can see with your own eyes are the ones that made the real difference. The way previous generations have made the world hostile to children is the #1 reason they don't play outside anymore. And it was during the 1990s that these changes really came into effect. But before we continue, I want to tell you about Odo, that provides overwhelming images. And so once you're on Pages app and a build drop the image short of Insights, the unofficial. Ever since the 20s, the world has slowly adapted to accommodate cars. In a lot of ways though, North America was the perfect place for them to really put the pedal to the metal. The huge distances between cities and states, the fact that America itself and Canada was so new, and entire cities could be built just 100 years ago compared to Europe, where cities were constructed for thousands of years, combined with a bunch of poor coverage of railway lines, meant that this land was ripe for highways and road networks. And if the country's cities weren't built yet, most cities weren't very large by the time cars were coming along, and all these cities' prosperity came at the same time as the rise of the automobile. Think of LA, the entire city is built by roads, and LA's boom came too with the boom of cars in the 50s. But then fast forward to the 90s, cars and all the suffocating
like in USA, if you're in USA, you gotta have a driving license. If you don't have a driving license, you're cooked. You gotta rely on Uber or taxi or whatever.
Infrastructure they needed were deeply in place. City planners knew that accommodating them above everything else was the best way to ensure growth and boost the local economy. Instead of the dense, close-together cities that you can find in Europe, Japan, or most of the old world, American cities became far more spread out. They were built around a small central hub where people traveled to work,
where traffic is not favored,
surrounded by miles and miles of suburbs and highways. It was in the 1990s that these kinds of cities grew the fastest, laying the concrete bedrock for the country that we recognize today. But you don't just need roads, you need parking spaces as well. Local American governments became so obsessed with giving cars everything they needed, they wrote minimum parking requirements into the planning and zoning laws. Blocks of flats would need at least one parking spot per apartment. Businesses would need a certain amount of parking spaces based on the size of the building. Even churches were required to build one parking space for every 5 seats. Today, the highest estimates say there are over 2 billion parking spots in the USA. Tons of roads in the US don't even bother adding sidewalks.
Yeah.
Why bother if everyone's driving anyway? All of these roads and parking spaces are plain ugly and depressing to live around. It's what makes European cities look like this and American cities look like this. But most importantly,
are you serious?
these changes were awful for kids. The most obvious problem is how dangerous they are if you're not in a car. Having the majority of your world dominated by fast-moving death machines made walking around hazardous. Not to mention full of pollution that you're breathing in everywhere you go. I mean, the rise of asthma is just one point, but even ignoring that, it makes the whole outside world so much more boring anyway. Any kid wanting to play outside can only find the same grey roads, green lawns, for miles in any direction. That's if they were even allowed to explore outside by themselves. Kids also lost their independence because of this. If you grew up in the countryside, you could walk for miles in any direction. In a city, public transport would give you pretty much unlimited access beyond where your own 2 legs could take you. But the majority of kids in America grew up in cookie-cutter car cities that became so common in the 90s. These suburban kids were either driven by their parents, or they didn't get out at all. It was kind of alright for those lucky few with parents rich enough in money and time to take them places, but the next decade would make sure that rarely applied. The 2000s. You see, the 2000s didn't just continue the trends we've been talking about, they took them to the next level. Instead of just cars, we saw the rise of the SUV. It wasn't enough for Americans to just own a normal car anymore. Everyone started buying much larger, more dangerous cars which took up entire roads by themselves. Cities responded by widening lanes, making bigger parking spaces, and generally giving cars even more room than they were already taking up. SUVs take more fuel as well because they're moving way more metal than necessary, so the US needed more gas stations and oil as well. When you think of an American mum taking their kids to soccer practice, you instinctively imagine them cruising along in an SUV. Today there's so many of them that they're already cancelling out all the eco-friendly changes that car manufacturers have made to vehicles over the past few decades. Meanwhile, the stranger danger craze was still going strong. Kids lost even more of their independence to misguided ideas about health and safety. Today, with all of the mental health issues we're seeing, it clearly shows how wrong that was. It's much more dangerous in the long run to leave your kid unprepared for the world by suffocating their development and forcing them inside looking at screens. But it was in the late 2000s the worst change for kids came.
2.6 million jobs were cut from the economy last year. That's the greatest decline since 1945.
If we measure how the economy is doing on the basis of employment, it's doing about as poorly as you can imagine.
The economic recession of 2008 forced a change that had been coming for years. The death of the stay-at-home mum. As tens of millions of fathers lost their jobs and their savings, it became truly impossible for normal families to support themselves on one income. While the news might have framed this as empowering, you can doubt that kids saw it in the same way. With millions more families needing both parents to work, nobody was left to drive the kids anywhere that wasn't school in the morning. The last lifeline that tons of kids had to the outside world disappeared, and their lives became a grind of boring schoolwork and an even more boring time at home. There's a saying that it takes a village to raise a child. Mum and dad can't be there all the time, so who's left to step in and fill the gap when they aren't there? Unfortunately for many families, this is no longer a viable option. The cities that people live in today aren't built with that in mind, as they lost the usual gathering places like churches or parks, which were swallowed up by car infrastructure, Starbucks, McDonald's, and so only places like malls and giant chain stores were left. Slowly each last refuge for children was blocked off. Towns installed spikes and poles everywhere, putting an end to skateboarding and fun, or even just for humans to exist in those spaces at all. Shops and other businesses even installed special alarms which make high-pitched noises that only kids can hear. The website selling these literally call them teenager repellent. When the malls finally died with the advent of online shopping, it was the final nail in the coffin. As depressing as it was, the mall was the last social gathering spot for millions of children around the world. Now it's in the virtual space. People shut in their bedrooms, windows closed, isolated from their communities, no free play, no exploring, no social dynamics, just consuming content and being yet another iPad kid. I mean, never mind that these measures were only put in place because society had destroyed pretty much every other outlet for kids. Things like video games and social media might have felt like a savior for kids. Finally, it gave them some form of interaction with the outside world. In reality though, it's probably been the most destructive and damaging defining development for kids in history. We saw social media really take off in the early 2010s, which was precisely the same time that the mental health issues in young people shot up. Without any other outlets to explore and learn about the world and themselves, young people were almost forced into relying on social media. Everyone knows that social media gives a much more negative view of things than you'd get from talking to people in real life. The algorithms just push whatever gets the most engagement so they can show people more.
Just get a thick skin, bro. Come on, man. Stop being soft.
Ads. This constant stream of negativity warps their mindsets. They start comparing themselves to others, getting lost in a world of visualized social standing and appearances where they're never good enough, their lives boring and isolated. If there's any justice, the number one thing that Mark Zuckerberg will be known for, amongst all the other tech giant elites, are their crimes against the next generation of kids, the iPad kids. The effects of this are plain to see. Since 2010, there's been a 145% increase in teenage depression for girls and a 161% increase in boys. Anxiety's through the roof, nearly doubling in US adults aged between 18 and 25. And it's not really that hard to see why.
You're on the internet? I mean, yeah. I mean, that proves the point. More people are on the internet than outside.
Why? Stripped of the crucial development kids need to face the world, they're left unprepared for its many challenges. And of course, we can't ignore the elephant in the room. Kids today are going through an existential crisis, so it makes sense that they'd be showing the symptoms of it. As they grow up, they're bombarded with the fact that their lives probably won't be as good as their parents. They probably won't be able to afford a house. They will have a much harder time building a family, or even finding people to connect with. The social contract that previous generations bought into has disappeared. It's easy to treat the mental health problems that we see today as their own isolated issue, but in many ways, they're the natural response to what kids are facing. At this point, it might feel a little bit hopeless, but the light at the end of the tunnel is that we're all catching on to these mistakes. We're slowly realizing that you don't need to make your kids terrified of strangers. It took decades, but people are finally questioning that absurd narrative. People are waking up to the dangers of social media, the lack of free play in kids, and how addictive and destructive it is to keep kids isolated in a safe little box in their room, staring at a screen endlessly for hours every single day. I mean, how many young people today, how many of your friends that you know would actually let their children become heavy technology users? Even with cars, despite how embedded they've become, the pendulum is slowly swinging the other way. Young people who've traveled and experienced life in cities that aren't dominated by them know the difference that it can make. We're not going to instantly solve the many challenges that young people face because of the mistakes of the past, but before too long, the generation that grew up with these problems and actually understands them will be in the driving seat. And hopefully, by some miracle, they'll be able to actually fix them and know the value of making their kids' lives better than their own.
Hopefully, man. But I don't know.
The US is destroying your future. You see, when you're born, you automatically sign a social contract, an agreement to submit to the government.
2 days
Everybody
ago,
does
this is
for
fresh.
generations. You give up some of your natural freedoms in exchange for the benefits of living under the rule of your nation's government. You will pay tax, obey the law, and work for the greater good in exchange for money, public services, infrastructure, police, and stability. In America, you specifically sign this contract in exchange for the pursuit of happiness and prosperity. For generations before, this contract was
American
one of the best
dream.
in history. Americans prospered. Its people became the richest in the world, with the most freedoms you could ever ask for. It was the most free, richest, and most inspiring country in the world. The American dream was the mantra that made the entire world envious of America, because anybody, regardless of age, class, or race, could make it. Anybody could make it to buy a huge house, have a beautiful lawn, raise a happy family, with loving neighbors, community, ultimately allowing you to find true happiness. But today, it's becoming a whole other picture. You see, for the first time in American history, you're probably making less money than your parents did. Younger generations are far less happy than their parents and grandparents. On average, all studies show that Americans today are deeply unhappy. And yet for older generations, they're some of the happiest in the world. You're probably also far less adjusted than any of your family's previous generations. And it's not hard to notice. Protests are everywhere. Universities are being desecrated, American flags being ripped down. Patriotism is falling to an all-time low. The country more divided, extremism rising. People everywhere are rejecting the social contract with America, as younger generations don't own anything, perpetually living off of subscriptions to food, housing, entertainment, games, gyms, cars, credit card debts. Nothing is real or owned anymore. People perpetually exist as temporary facets to an increasingly artificial existence. Why? The current prosperity of the home-owning older generation is propped up by debt for future generations. We are meant to pass on our wealth to our descendants, not hoard it for ourselves and only pass on.
that they stupid for favoring two parties. Yeah. Like, why only two, bro?
Debt, credit card and
There are other
overdraft debt
ones.
has been normalized, expected even. Look at credit ratings. If you're seen to borrow and pay interest, credit companies are more likely to give you credit. If you take a more mature and sensible approach to your own finances and live prudently within your means, you have a credit rating of 0 and cannot borrow money or get a mortgage, aka own a house. What happened in 2008? Massive government bailout. Instead of banks being nationalized, countries came under the private control of banks. In other words, the US was sold off, and the results, a changing America and Western
Capitalism.
world. Some may think it's good that America is changing, but change is only good when it makes things better, which by all metrics it's not. Now lots of people, especially in the boomer generation, may point to the S&P 500 or industry graphs that show rising GDP levels, and yes, if you have assets and have been deeply invested in the American markets for years, you'd be thinking that America has never been so great and successful, and this is what it looks like by looking at the economic graphs. But if you're a regular person or just finishing college, you won't see any of this. In fact, wage growth over the last few years compared to the S&P is astronomically lower. Years ago, boomers would have full-time jobs and would be paid a reasonable wage. Your local postman could afford a nice house in a loving neighborhood. People were content with their income, which is why elderly poverty is down to the lowest levels in American history. But child poverty, well, that's at the highest levels ever. Why? Why, if the economy is growing, public funding in schools failing so badly? Why is the younger generation suffering so much in America?
iga asi omal kohal. Nüüd riidestange vaid 19.
It's because of IKEA, bro.
Vannitoa vaid 17.99.
Yeah, proves our point. Corruption. Ads, bro. Everywhere. Point proven. Come on, YouTube.
klapp on hea,
What
kõik
you
on
doing?
hea ja üheskoos saab tulemus värvikam. Anna oma päevale värvi ja tegutse
Crazy.
nagu ei keegi teine koos Schwarzkopf Live'iga.
And in the digital age, where our personal information feels more like public property, it's alarming to see just how accessible our data is to predators and data brokers. That's why I want to tell you about our video sponsor, Aura. You see, data brokers sell your information to anyone interested.
And nah, and he got to add to it. That's crazy.
But here's
That's crazy. Nah, bro.
Rather than the future. I mean, a young American today going through the state education system is increasingly looking at a future of becoming an Uber Eats driver, renting rather than owning anything, and yet being intelligent enough and painfully aware of all the opportunities that exist for the wealthy. And in
College is a
particular,
scam
their
in America.
parents. It's often shown that children of rich parents, rather than being spoiled and not actually working, in fact have an opposite reaction. In all likelihood, they have more of a reason to work hard, knowing that they can be rewarded with a bright future and become like their parents. And with a lovely soft safety net behind them, why not go for their dreams? But for the average student, the future is a dull, low-paid job and a rented home in a neighborhood, seemingly abandoned by the authorities, with trank, fentanyl plaguing their streets, tents everywhere, and yet you'll still pay all of your wage to live in these places. And how can teachers who are dramatically underpaid and underfunded by the government ever inspire students when they themselves are completely uninspired, unmotivated, and unable to afford anything? So is it really any surprise that students in America are feeling more nihilistic than ever before? Is it any surprise they're dropping out of the workforce like flies? Public schools in the US rely heavily on local property taxes to fund their operations, and the effects of this are starting to show, as not all schools are this underfunded, not all schools have uninspired students, but it seems like the system perpetuates disparities in funding between wealthy and low-income communities, as schools in affluent areas benefit from higher property tax revenues, while schools in impoverished areas struggle to make ends meet. In addition to this, many states have faced budget cuts and austerity measures, leading to reductions in funding for public education. These cuts have forced schools to operate with limited resources, resulting in large class sizes, staff layoffs, and program cuts for the arts and creative subjects. The creative heart of America that's inspired the world and continues to shape the world culture is being defunded. The US has the power, wealth, and resources to improve the public school system. More importantly, it has the power to make life better for those at the poorest end of the social spectrum. Alleviating social problems at source takes the burden off of schools. This is the nation that put man on the moon, that leads the world in technological advancements, that is the pillar of freedom across the world, the nation on the brink of an AI revolution, but it still chooses not to invest that much in its young people. And as a result of this underfunded public school system, there's kind of worrying trend of anti-Americanism in schools.
They're changing the values and the morals of children to hate the country. That's the problem. That's
Do you
not
know
education.
that they're doing that, though?
Yes, 100%.
Resentment piling up from both teachers and students alike, where young students are then taught to hate the West, their history, culture, and values, something which is happening all across the Western world. And it's only 10 times worse in universities, where people are literally ripping down American flags across the country.
That's
where
crazy,
people
though.
are taught to think radically, where their bleak
Your own
economic
country.
future deepens their frustrations with the country. Students become divided, others become more radical, some become more normal, more patriotic, and a loud majority of people are rejecting the system. And at the same time, all of these students are being charged hundreds of thousands for the privilege.
That's insane. 217,000 to go to school or college or some shit. 4 years. That is insane. You could buy a nice ass house in Europe. You're not wrong. Socialism along with communism make wealth go down all the way. I mean, yeah, I think so too. Yeah, maybe socialism is the answer. The fuck?
I mean, just 30 years
Yeah,
ago, Scott Galloway
same.
pointed out, a student could get admitted to UCLA with a grade point average, GPA, between 2.2 and 2.3.
And then, out of UCLA, I got a 2.27 GPA. For those of you that don't know, that's not very good. The whole point is to give unremarkable people a chance of being remarkable.
Now, applicants to Ivy League universities are expected to have GPAs that are close to or above a 4.0, and the cost of college education as a percentage of first-year income.
Damn, so if you're dumb, they will not teach you. How do you become smarter? You gotta be dumb to become smarter. Like, bro.
Has nearly trebled
That's-
since the parents of the current undergrads were at college. Having a higher education should be available to all if you're
Come
willing
on,
to work
man.
hard. It shouldn't be so exclusive, where the top politicians' children somehow all get admitted to Ivy League colleges, while regular average day people have a 0.1% chance of ever actually getting accepted. Somehow most politicians have all of their children in Ivy League schools, along with all the donors to these universities getting all of their kids passed through.
Now another
Sus.
admissions scandal looms over one of the most prestigious schools in the world. The Boston Globe reports there was a different kind of college recruitment scam at Harvard University. It allegedly involves a
hei sina seal, pole vahet, kas sa
Another
oled Tartus,
ad?
Pärnus või Võrus. Raksi ragistad iga ilmaga.
Bruh. I would love some ice cream though. I love ice cream sandwiches.
series of donations, a land
Totalitarian or bad ideologies do make people stupid enough to control them easily. Yeah.
deal, and a real estate purchase from a Chinese millionaire who wanted his two sons admitted to the school.
Whereas the rest of America is almost completely excluded. This is a deliberate and corrupt policy to make places at top universities rare, whilst also milking all their students dry to the bone, increasing profits, increasing division across America, and increasing exclusivity, rather than providing the chance for advancement for ordinary people. So the system now in place is that it is more and more expected for anyone looking for a job away from the gig economy to have a degree, as the market and culture punishes and demonizes those who don't, while those who do pursue a college course channel money to
Yeah, so that is weird. In order to make it in America, you have to be rich. We're very fucking lucky.
a super wealthy institution, and in
bullshit.
doing so burden themselves with lifelong debt and a deeply frustrated, twisted outlook of the world thanks to their radical professors. I mean, is there any wonder that the boomer generation is worried about the younger generations turning their back on the values that build the country to begin with, if the younger people are being pushed into a
Yeah,
system that
true.
makes it almost impossible not to? This is a huge problem, and it's a great benefit to the adversaries of America, something that urgently needs to be fixed. Because if the younger generation lose their patriotism and love of their country, then who will stand up for America and the Western world in times of need? It's critical this changes, otherwise the West faces a very big challenge in the next decade. And I say the West, as this education process is becoming all too familiar across Europe. But of course, not everybody's being pushed to be unpatriotic. However, almost everyone is being pushed into poisoning themselves. The introduction of processed foods, high in sugars, fats, and artificial additives,
Nutella's
alongside
good,
the
though.
widespread use of pesticides and other chemicals in agriculture, has raised alarms about the long-term health effects of
For
children
now,
and
yeah.
adolescents. Towns and cities across America are filled to the brim with chains that offer no healthy food, apart from oily, greasy slop. In fact, we actually made an entire video going into this topic.
Man, but all that slop tastes so good though. I'm glad I can control myself though. If I wouldn't, bro, I'll be eating McDonald's, Burger King, KFC every day. Bro. So good. Especially Eastern. Tastes good, but never feed ya. Never feed ya.
Specifically.
And crazy, they come from America, but their food tastes better outside America. That's so weird.
But for the most part, many know the FDA's food regulation standards are letting through foods that should never be eaten on a regular basis, especially not for the youth. Drinks and tap water with forever chemicals.
A new study finds
Chemicals
that
in
nearly
the water.
half of the nation's drinking water
Making the
contains
frogs
potentially
gay.
harmful forever chemicals. The substances have been linked to several
Classic.
serious health problems, including some cancers.
Ingredient lists on food
Cancer.
full of emulsifiers and other trash you've never heard of before, wrecking the microbiomes of millions, robbing the young of their energy and health, the two fundamental things to ever rise up in the world. Even just foods you think would only have one or two ingredients like nuggets or a burger is far from what you ever think it is. They're packed with fat, salt, sugar, and other unhealthy ingredients. Fast food barely fills you up and slowly deteriorates your body. It makes you crave things like Coke.
We all know it, that formula at McDonald's, why that's the best tasting Coke and Diet Coke on the planet.
Why?
This part of the video, you want to hit that child? Yellow shirt.
Up and slowly deteriorates your body. It makes you crave things like other unhealthy ingredients. Is far from what you ever think it is. They're packed with fat, salt, sugar, and other unhealthy ingredients. Fast food barely fills you up and slowly deteriorates your body. It makes you crave things like Coke.
We all know it, that formula at McDonald's, why that's the best tasting Coke and Diet Coke on the planet.
Why?
There's definitely a different formula.
No, I was trying to go and find the stupid kid, but it ain't that far.
Wrecking the microbiome. Ingredient list
Been linked to potentially harmful forever chemicals. The substances have been linked to several serious health problems, including some cancers.
Ingredient list on food full of emulsifiers and other trash you've never heard of before, wrecking the microbiomes of millions, robbing the young of their energy and health, the
That ain't
two
yellow.
fundamental things.
You want to beat up this kid? Come on, bro. I ain't gonna lie,
Microbiomes of millions, robbing
if I would punch someone, I would more likely punch this
the
kid
young
than
of their
the other
energy
kid.
and health, the two fundamental things to ever rise up in the world. Even just
Why would you? Huh. But I wouldn't punch none of them. But I.
foods you think would.
Stupid
Also about the
looks.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Oh,
Oh shit, my bad.
There's why that's the best tasting Coke and Diet Coke on the planet.
Why?
There's definitely a different formula at the McDonald's.
Oh, has there been anything written about this?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Go if you drive by a McDonald's and you get a Diet Coke, you'll be like, "What the fuck?"
And it's not just about the nutrition.
I never get the point of drinking like diet sodas. If you're drinking a soda no matter what, why pick a diet soda? That just tastes like ass. There's no point of drinking it, bro. I don't get it. Just get the normal soda, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Emptiness. It's also about the experience and the brain's chemical response.
At the end of the day, it's soda, bro.
That fuels a lifelong addiction in most of the youth of America. Fast, ultra-processed food is intrinsically harmful, and yet in most food deserts across America, what other choice do you have, other than eating slop that makes you fatigued, obese, and full of lethargy? And yet this ultra-processed food constitutes 73% of the nation's total food supply.
But you
and
gotta
America's
control
demanding
yourself.
work and school culture leaves people with little time or energy to prepare themselves wholesome meals daily. The convenience and addictive nature of such food makes it an easy habit to fall into, a survival mechanism to conserve energy. However, this ease of access is impairing the nation's functionality and reducing the average citizen's ability to thrive. A stark example was found in the US military, full of America's
Makes
youth,
you want
which is
more.
currently missing its recruitment goal by 15,000 people annually.
Oh, I put pause and an ad popped up. That is insane. What are the chances? Oh, hell no.
And the shortfall is
Why was he even trying to... I wanted to say something. Oh, is it only in American food? European fast food doesn't have those chemicals that don't fill your stomach? It's only in America?
isn't due to a lack of winning recruits, but because many who apply are actually unfit for service. Issues like drug use, mental health problems, and most notably the obesity crisis are significant barriers, echoing Nietzsche's warnings about decadence. Historically, gluttony and overeating were luxuries reserved only for the elite. As most people
that was insane. I wanted to pause to talk about that, and then literally an ad jumped up. It's crazy.
People engaged in too much physical labor or had limited access to food. However, it's now being inversed, where the rich and powerful elites have access to tasty, healthy food, whereas the rest of America has to eat the toxic slop. Which is why the average American now eats 60 hamburgers per year. Every second across America, 350 slices of pizza are consumed.
That's not that bad.
They say you are what you eat, and so what does this mean about the future generation of America? I mean, studies show a strong association between a diet rich in overly processed food and a lower IQ. So what does that say when 60% of the standard American diet comes from heavily processed foodstuffs? And on the other side, if you do want to be healthy, all of your vegetables are probably saturated with pesticides and carcinogenic chemicals, like companies like Monsanto. I mean, what happens to a civilization that poisons their own children? Children are raised with hundreds of grams of sugar as infants, told they have ADHD because they can't sit in their chair for 8 hours, and are consequently prescribed Ritalin as the solution? Hardcore stimulants dished out like candy to children who they get funneled through a system I just described?
But look, if you look at in the United States at least, poor kids and kids of so-called color are much more likely to be diagnosed with ADHD. And no child should be forced to take medication. And medication are never the final answer. At the very most, they're a stopgap. There's no proof whatsoever that medications help anybody heal from ADHD. They simply suppress symptoms, which may be helpful in the short term, but for God's sakes, go to work on the long-term development of that child.
In 2007, 4.8% of kids were on ADHD medication. By 2011, that number had climbed to 6.1%. It's likely even higher now.
I mean, boomers, the older generation, has never had this issue because many of the chemicals in food never actually existed in their generation. Their food was far higher quality. They weren't raised on stimulants. They weren't raised on so much processed garbage. They had healthier diets, healthier classrooms, healthier lifestyles, and hope for a future with a big house in a healthy, patriotic society. However, one of the main driving forces that is damaging America's youth has to be the rise of culture-polluting algorithms.
Phones, man.
Although we all use social media, the United States' relationship with it deserves closer attention. With 302 million users, the United States has the third largest social media audience in the world.
Of course, China's one.
India. In other words, over 91% of the US population actively uses social media. And it's important to remember that both India and China have 3 times the population of America. So we really shouldn't be surprised that they have higher social media use. It's also important to remember that both countries don't allow citizens access to TikTok, arguably the most destructive social media app in existence. And this is a worrying pattern in America, as social media use is intimately associated with diminished cognitive abilities. According to this paper, associations between social media use and cognitive abilities, with results from a large-scale study of adolescents, included lower intelligence levels, poor information processing abilities, and lower levels of spatial perception. And if it's not Mark Zuckerberg's global social media empire that is destroying the mental health of young Americans in a way we can't even comprehend, there's also foreign adversaries like China using TikTok to reduce our attention spans down to the size of goldfish, whilst controlling the information diet of every young American across the country. Depression in younger people is skyrocketing, anxiety is skyrocketing, all manner of mental health issues, even ones spurred on by TikTok trends like Tourette's.
No doubt, it's a very real mental health condition.
Like, bro, literally faking for, like, I don't know, for views. That's weird.
And even more bizarrely, it seems popular TikTok videos are playing a role in it.
Like,
all
imagine faking Tourette's.
Everything we like and learn, everything we say to our friends and family, all being chopped up and distributed for a profit. We have military and business leaders who hate America and the West doing everything they can to harm the future generations of America. And this is being passively accepted across most of the Western world. As the psychologist Jonathan Haidt highlighted in a widely read essay, there are 3 primary reasons why societies thrive: social capital, like inclusive communities, social networks with elevated levels of trust, robust institutions, and common narratives. The influence of social media, he argued, has harmed and continues to harm all 3. And he's right. Real news has been replaced by fake news. The truth replaced by my truth. George Carlin even once called America one big shopping mall.
Only a nation of unenlightened half-wits could have taken this beautiful place and turned it into what it is today, a shopping mall. A big f***ing shopping mall.
One big commercial cesspool. a place where people mindlessly
It's a
shop,
TV
eat
show,
and distract
yeah.
themselves with things that when
Yeah, USA is literally a movie.
examined closely add little or no value to one's life. And more concerningly, very few actually leave the cesspool. They rarely ever travel to foreign lands. The manifest destiny spirit of America is being
Real-life
reduced,
movie,
which is
yeah.
one of the key values that made America so prosperous to begin with.
IKEA Family Klubi hüved on sul alati käepärast. IKEA.
Why can't I just use AdBlock,
Igaüks
bro?
meist on ainulaadne ja originaalne. Oleme julged nagu ei keegi teine. Filtriteta nagu ei keegi teine.
Good for
Ja
you!
rokirosa nagu ei keegi
Yay!
teine. Nii et haara karp ja mine värvi nagu ei keegi teine. Koos Schwarzkopf Live'iga.
There's barely any passing reason for young people to leave the house today. At least with malls, you actually had to go out of the house to indulge in consumerism. Today, it's all there waiting for you at the push of a button. Food, clothes, and the necessities are readily available whenever you want. As is everything else you don't really need. Temu is just the latest, more concentrated version of a mega mall drug. A kind of shotgun approach to filling the bottomless pit of buying stuff. It doesn't matter that the junk you buy is going to break after a month, if it even works at all. It doesn't matter that it might be made by slaves, or that it really serves no purpose.
Spies.
It doesn't need to be something you even like in general. What matters is the act of consuming, the way it makes you feel and the dopamine you get from it. That's why everything it seems in our society, even shopping, has drifted from quality to gamifying the process and making it as addictive and easy as possible. But we shouldn't end this video on such a nihilistic note. As the philosopher Hegel argued, in the phenomenology of spirit, each generation of humanity offers specific knowledge that can enhance our societies. There is wisdom at every stage in history, and by studying the eras of our great-grandfathers, we can identify what is missing in our societies and compensate for the blind spots of the present. The traditional values that built America, logic, hard work, discipline, a strong moral code, and
Cringe all AI voice team. The comments always up, like, bro, I'm gonna tell you it's okay.
faith begin to swing back when its absence
Yeah.
produces a societal vacuum. The steps to building a great civilization is painful. The transition periods through growth, whilst painful, show things are moving forward where they should be going. Hegel referred to this process as the dialectic. When society adjusts to big changes, these growth pains are natural. It's only through moving era to era in society that new solutions and a better society emerges. That's why we need to make changes to the way we're going. Banning the toxic chemicals in food that poisons the youth every day. Ban phone usage in schools. Moderate algorithms and their dangers. Praise our history and culture in schools and universities. A general push to connect with other members of society. An incentivization for bringing communities together. Investing in outdoor facilities for everyone. To remind America and the rest of the West youth what they're fighting for. Giving them economic hope and prosperity in face of a horrible economic outlook. Only when these toxic pressures are relieved can America's trajectory be overturned and accelerated. And it seems increasingly more and more people online are aware of this. There is a positive trend rising from the surface. And if this continues, we will see society thrive. But only once these fixes are implemented. As the Greek proverb goes, a society grows great when old men plant trees in whose shade they will never sit.
The Roman Empire. Yeah, bro. The Roman Empire fold. That might happen.
I can't wait to go back home and see my mom. Your washing machine is a bucket of water. Uh-oh. Incoming.
Bossman.
Get the fuck out my pocket! You all about to have a real bad day. Hey, good job there, hard ass. All right, let's do this. Batter up.
mild brains and your brawn will make an excellent team. This all looks normal.
Let's do this.
All right.
Whoa! Oh yeah!
Whoa! Oh my.
Take this. Out. Out. Get back here, you little asshole. What the heck is a bow? Surprise! I'll end your head. You're too strong. Help! Don't just stand there. Take a
Oh my God, we're doomed!
Promise not to bleed on my children that food.
Get back!
Not usually my job, but... So many freedoms!
You done incurred my wrath, son. I did. That'll cut you back down to size.
Oh, hello.
What the soul of you are a whole herd of... You were getting too big for your britches.
There was more though.
Sama moos teeb hommikusöögi rõõmsamaks.
Level up your gaming space with metal posters from Displays. Hang your displays
I
in
think we
seconds.
lost this war. Country humans are just unstoppable.
Yeah. Can't wait to see what they cook up
now. I've been warning the world for like 4 years now. Yet this community has literally become stronger than ever before. Chop, chop, slide, country humans. So they're playing the bottle game, and we have different. Oh, so it's a World War II Germany, and we're trying to figure out which country they're about to stab. Why? Whatever. So Japan or Italy or the Soviet Union or France or Poland or, well, I wanted answers, but I guess history already gave us our answers, didn't it? Which country has the most words? We have Spain or Spanish with 93,000 words. We have English with a little over 500,000 words. Finland, which is a little bit more, and then there's Korea, which is like doing this really fast rap, I guess. Meanwhile, everyone else literally just cannot believe it. Is this because like Korean in a way can just make up words? I don't know about making up words, but they have a lot. And apparently German, Sanskrit, and Arabic have even more. You know, at least this Country Humans video was slightly educational, so we still have that. It's funny because I think at fault here is really YouTube Shorts. They're the ones that have made Country Humans unstoppable at this point. I mean, honestly, funny enough, even Country Ball videos on YouTube Shorts are so cringe. I never thought we'd get to this day. Main religion of Japan, we obviously have Shinto there. Main religion of the USA is Christianity. Main religion of South Korea, I'm actually not sure what that is. Main religion of Thailand is Buddhism, I believe that's the sign. And then of course, I mean that is the most obvious. It's literally on their face, but okay, that's fine. Main religion of India is Hinduism, and main religion of Arabia is this is literally the most obvious thing, but I don't. That's okay, it's fine. People are learning. Why is this in my recommendations? And that video got 55 million views. The other one got like 110 million views. Gotta say though, this is definitely my favorite part. Offensive hand gestures, one in the USA. Vietnam doesn't like you to do this. No thumbs down. That you also can't do, apparently. Greece is just a high. Is that just like a, what? Wow, this is like a SpongeBob episode moment. Oh, I guess that's the, Maybe that's the joke. For those who don't know, it is the bad finger of other countries. What? What did that even... Isn't this also bad in like Serbia or something? No. It's a good thing in Serbia, but obviously it's not the same as the OK sign. This has reminded me of when the OK hand gesture was listed as a symbol of hate. Oh man. Interesting times a few years ago, wasn't it? Okay, so just don't say hi in Greece. I will say this guy's animations are great. We have the most manpower, says Pakistan, at 235 million. The USA with 313. Oh, this is just population, isn't it? China, who used to be #1, and the thing is, this is only going to get more and more drastic as the years go on, since India's birth rates are just continuing to explode.
Cringe
and the rest of the
animation.
world will be looking at them just like this. And China's apparently going down. There's just no way these country human videos are popping off in the US. Like, I just can't see it. Like, I think it's more of an international thing that's growing. I warn...
Meme Mao behind these every time he shows screen. Why not, bro?
People in the U.S. a long time ago. I'm gonna say that maybe I did my job. I warned like the U.S. and Canada and the U.K. To be fair, these videos are not that bad, but I am avoiding some of them. For example, Exhibit 1. We have Japan now as a cute little cat girl laughing with Indonesia and Malaysia. We already know where this is going. Versus Japan then, as they were doing horrible things. And wait, were they furries back then too? I don't understand. Or maybe they're still furries. I don't know. It's just...
cringe.
It's just, and then the USA bonking them at the end. Okay. So that's the thing. Like, country balls are getting pulled into this. On one hand, some of them are educational, you know, people are learning things. On the other, though, it's just really hard to watch.
You gotta be real dumb to get educated.
Idol. Okay, so this is kind of the problem. This is exactly the problem, actually. People that are idolizing this. Because then you have people doing country human cosplay, and you should just not be doing that with certain places. These are all videos from just a few weeks ago, too, and they're getting millions of views. Back to the time travel. So this is Italy going back to in time to, I don't really know the Romans, BC 27. This is Italy being forced to fight in the Gladiator games, which is a really, I will say, epic animation. What is the trend here?
Weep
Some of this,
style.
I'm just, what was that last thing that I just saw? What is that? I don't know what I'm looking at. A lot of the comments here, I believe, are in Korean. Oh, he was dreaming, I think. Oh, thank God. You just never know. That's what I'm, it's not my mind. I've seen so much horrific things in country. Usually, as you've seen if you watch other country videos on this channel, in order to do something educational, they'll use country balls because it's purely just a ball. But when you want to use country humans, there's a reason they use country humans, and it's not good. Okay, so I think it's the Koreans, maybe the Japanese that are watching a lot of this. The N-word song. Do you know this Chinese song? Poland says
that's not an N-word
yes.
song.
Spain says yes. Italy wait, I don't know if I think these are just all people listening to the song and shaking their head. Oh, the N. Okay, wait,
I show speed.
I think that's. I think that's a reference.
They're
to
not
this
even
image.
saying the N-word.
Purina One by Fences aitab hoida sinu kassi silmnähtavalt ilusana, toetades tema soolestiku mikrobiomi ja tugevdada tema immuunsussüsteemi.
Like, imagine advertising gambling.
If you didn't know, the Chinese word for that is, well, we can't say that exactly. I cannot say that in Chinese. I'm just going to say that. That is why the country human America is freaking out. Country human Vietnam, we have, I think Vietnam, or this Vietnamese country human reacting to different types of foods. Is this just Vietnamese food? So he's really loving this, whatever it is. I think this person, Red Chan here, is focusing on different country humans and their food. Okay, yeah, I just want to say, all the comments are, like, usually not in English below these videos, so I can confirm it's not our doing. We're not doing this, thank God. And now that I think about it, not too long ago, I feel like it was a lot of Russians that were watching this.
That quality of that edit looked so doo-doo. And 3 mil. What the fuck?
So I wonder if it's just traveling around the world in different spots.
Didn't even look like a good anime edit.
Year to year. Now it's popular in Korea, but I think also in like Indonesia, the Philippines maybe. Probably get to India eventually. Funny enough, on the other side of the world, or the Spanish-speaking world, country balls are really popular. Maybe they just haven't discovered the country humans aspect of it yet, but I'm sure it's only a matter of time. This is a video, I believe, in Indonesian, because we have Indonesia going up to a Vietnam, Malaysian, and Thailand ball as they play soccer or football, and I'm hoping the context clues is going to be enough. Indonesia, nobody wants to play with Indonesia. They don't want to play soccer, but Korea will play with them, and they're gonna be friends, I guess. It's literally just country anime at this point. Country anime. South Korea, of course, being very tall because they are very tall. And here they are as besties. Don't give up, Indo. Yeah, strong. I know we already have one of these, kind of, but we're absolutely going to get like a raw future country humans anime. It is going to happen. It is only a matter of time. And I'm not talking about Hetalia. I'm talking straight up. They are going to be country humans. I'm confident. Mark my words. There's nothing we can do to stop it. This is just called #countryballs, #countryhumans, which the drawings are good. These are different animations, Lebanon to, India to Pakistan to Iran. The transitions between the flag ball things are kind of well done, but where are the country humans? I don't think I've ever going to say that. Okay, of course, a cat girl, Japan. Why do they have wings? I don't understand why some of them have wings. Is there something I'm missing? Clearly, I'm not going to be able to translate anything here, but well, here we are, Japan. Japan showing their food to Indonesia, possibly. Was that? There was a freaking no-no Germany in the background of that last shot.
Very controversial. Got banned. What the fuck?
What the? Oh my goodness. Did you really think this was going to go over our head? Who's that other one, though? I've seen it. Everyone that's seen the background image, the person behind. Okay, see, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. There's too many Giga Chat emojis with that symbol. Now, this has been popular for a while now. Country humans just reacting to other videos on the internet.
That is
different
AIDS.
reactions out
That
of it,
is
which is pretty
Gacha
clever.
Life
It's been
AIDS.
popular
Oh
for
my-
years. Everyone
Oh,
makes their
hell
own
no.
comment while they watch
This
different
is
videos.
pure
This one specifically
cancer.
is watching a channel that I've reacted to before, Solar
What
Balls,
the
and all the
fuck?
different strange solar ball edits
Jump scared me, bro.
online, for whatever reason. So people
You
watch the
torture
video,
yourself with
people
this.
have different
Why?
reactions, and then after the video, they're asking. It's
Bro.
also translated into Spanish. These have been around for a while. It's weird, but what are you gonna do? It's interesting. I'll say that. Here we have a World War II Germany and a Soviet Union country human. They're singing anime songs together. That's literally where we are right now. Could you imagine if you went back to the 1940s and you showed a soldier one of these? This is what the legacy has become.
They're
To be
probably
fair,
off
the
themselves.
Germans were allied to Japan. It's their fault, anyways. So, this is no Germany shooting the Soviets, and then Poland is singing. I just don't even really know what to say right now. So they did shoot the Soviets, and that's Poland shaking in fear. These jokes will never end. Comments turned off. Okay, yeah.
I wonder why.
Fake collab. We have Cat Girl Japan and Crying Indonesia. Your school uniform versus this is Indonesia's school uniform. Your favorite outfit, Japan's favorite outfit versus Indonesia's favorite outfit. Well, yeah. There always has to be a reference to this, doesn't there? I guess it's like sensational for kids or something. You gotta make a reference. The comments are gonna make reference to you. Might as well put in the video. That doesn't make it right. I'm just saying. Japan here being in their army outfit, and Indonesia, of course, is gonna be scared. Is that Indonesia? Why do they have stripes on their face? And I thought this was just gonna be a cute cringe video, but no. Oh my god, very pretty. Thanks for joining. I'm assuming this is just gonna be the same thing of a cat girl, cute country. What is that? Is that even like a country cat? Country. See, yeah. This is just such a weird side.
Like, I feel like people are jacking off to this shit. Would you ever lived in that world with country humans? If I only had that. I mean, it's rather doing that or going mentally insane. I mean, probably, yeah.
The internet, and nobody really probably knows about it. Like, that is straight up like a cute Japan looking at their history. Like, there's so many things wrong with this. Like, I don't even know where to begin. The cat girl, the furry, the idolizing Empire of Japan. Somebody drew this. Like, somebody made this. This is kind of reminding me of that Japanese streamer that was they were singing the German song. I don't even know if I can find it because they might have taken that down.
IKEA Family Klubi hüved on sul alati käepärast.
I can't skip it.
IKEA.
More gambling. Great YouTube. Thank you. Teach him young, I guess.
Is our generation ruined? Every country say
Edge on this. Yeah, of course. I'm not surprised.
Yippee-yo, or yippee-yeah. The Soviets are our idols, and he is kind of crazy. He changed without my knowledge and tried to oof me. That's true. The Soviets are idiots, and he is kind of crazy. He changed without my knowledge, and he tried to oof me. Oh, okay, it's just repeated twice. There's nothing inaccurate about that, I guess. Soviet is crazy, skull emoji. Who think he cute?
It
Yes,
is Soviet.
everybody say yippee yo or yippee yeah. This time with Austria-Hungary, he is a country, and he ver kind. He came from the Germany to partying and helping. She is very kind.
At least, like, if you're gonna do a song, don't put the original song and then text. Like, actually remake the song. So lazy, bro.
Came from another country for me to do this stuff. Like, goes straight over my head sometimes.
Like, do an actual parody, bro. Like, why have original song playing and then put text?
Which obviously I'm like way too old. This is a female Austria-Hungary. I do like the interesting take on an imperial Germany. Like, here's the rectangle, but it's a country human. It's one day I'm gonna be forced to make country human plushies, aren't I? It's only a matter of time. This is just not gonna cut it anymore, is it? That's why you can't leave your kids with iPads. Like, don't be an iPad parent.
Hey.
Another one about Indonesia. Clearly it's Indonesia that's loving this stuff. She's a villain, Indonesia, talking to Malaysia. She's my saint. Think I'm getting butterflies. But it's really something telling me, again, with more wings, to run away. Some people theorize the more videos I make about this, the more popular it's getting. I don't think that's the case, because it's not people in the US that's making this or watching it. This is just unstoppable. It's just an unstoppable trend. It's gonna be here forever, and we're gonna have to just live with it. We're gonna have to live with the consequences. I don't think it's all that big on other platforms. Like, it's still in very only like niche corners of the it's still pretty like niche on other internet corners. It's just YouTube for some reason. YouTube is the problem now. So there's always the country human body pillows that you can still buy. I'm glad to see that's still readily available. I don't know. I don't even know what to say anymore. We're so over, boys. Big thanks to my patrons this month. Kansas was mentioned. King Bear Hayes. John Denver. I can't sleep without Drew's voice. The beautiful Megan. And Steve.
Country shipping before GTA 6. I mean, that was a long ago still a thing, huh? It's over.
Out and face me, you coward!
Bro, what is
Isn't this just adorable? You brought all of this just for me? Herobrine. Alright, I'll match that energy. For the village!
Let's say you're okay.
Your lack of imagination is holding you back, you know.
R.I.P.
Come on, show me what you've learned, or you won't make it. You'll regret asking that.
I mean, it's like porn acting.
Did that get him? Nah. Anything else? No
We
living
should do
creature
that.
can survive this.
What?
That's not possible! I'm disappointed. You're still holding that dark spirit in you.
What? I'm not oiling myself up.
Back. But it's so close.
Pause.
My lord! Don't worry. He's not dead. He'll be in a pocket dimension. Until he remembers.
Why would I?
Who he really is.
I'm on stream. True facts. Waste of oil. You could cook some shit up.
Doctor! We've got a serious...
It's a hype experience, bro.
problem. This better be good.
Sounds like you down bad, I ain't gonna lie.
I just removed my 9th bottle of shampoo that someone accidentally fell on today. Oh, it's something else. This patient over here is barely hanging on. He dove out of a private jet mid-flight, which threw him right into the side of Maze Bank Tower at over 400 miles per hour. Come on, I said this better be good.
That's cap.
I'll just give him a ginger ale and a band-aid for that. Hold on, there's more. Once he smacked the pavement, after falling 1,000 feet, turning his insides into outsides. He was run over by multiple cars, including the ambulance we sent to pick him up. All right, I'll give him that reverse grip twist 9000. With all...
Yeah, I don't know. This is suffering. Is it all?
This country is worse.
Oh. Let me go on voice chat. Call with you right now. I'm good, bro.
Than North Korea.
Started as an event about Eritrea.
Worse than North Korea.
Eritrean asylum seekers marched on the
Enforced lifelong military service, non-existent press freedom, a crippled economy, and complete hopelessness. It is one of the most brutal dictatorships in the world, but no one really talks about it. In many regards, including measures such as the Democracy Index and the World Press Freedom Index, the small nation located at the Horn of Africa closely competes with North Korea. Those escaping the repressive regime recount distressing and traumatic conditions within the country. But what has led a once hopeful country in East Africa to develop so negatively? Today we take a look at the fate.
You would support USA to make a coup? Huh? Oh. I mean, I guess if the country's terrible.
Of
Womp womp. Alright, bro. Good luck at work.
Eritrea, the country no one really talks about in the Western world, but it's often referred to as the North Korea of Africa.
Fingers!
Fingers!
In contrast to many African nations, Eritrea's history diverged from a typical pattern of colonization by the British or French during the 19th century. Instead, it was the Italians who gradually expanded their influence and eventually establishing the colony of Eritrea, officially in 1890. Prior to World War II, Italy even launched an invasion on the much larger Ethiopia from its Eritrean colony. Although Italy managed to occupy Ethiopia briefly, the consolidation of all colonies in the region resulted in the creation of Italian East Africa. However, Italian rule came to an end in 1941 when Allied forces defeated Italian troops in the region. Following this, the territory fell under British military administration until a lasting international solution could be agreed upon. Ultimately, it was decided that Eritrea and Ethiopia, then known as Abyssinia, would coexist as a united independent federal state. While this arrangement seemed promising on the surface, it would ultimately lead to disastrous consequences. Despite promises of autonomy, the Ethiopian emperor gradually stripped the Eritrean population of all political rights, eventually dissolving the Eritrean regional parliament. This fueled unrest amongst the population, leading to the Eritrean War of Independence, which lasted a total of 30 years. Over the course of this war, 100,000 soldiers and civilians lost their lives. Eventually, victory was achieved by the Eritrean People's Liberation Front, who campaigned for an independence plebiscite. This vote, conducted under UN supervision, saw an overwhelming 99% of voters express their desire for independence. Thus, the country became fully independent in 1993, marking a historical moment for the nation, and many hoped that everything would improve. The country adopted a democratic constitution, numerous parties were founded, and they aimed for a golden future. However, things turned out differently. The euphoria of independence soon gave way to the daunting task of nation building and governance. Eritrea adopted a constitution in 1997, promising democratic principles and human rights protections. However, the implementation of democratic institutions faltered, and political repression intensified under President Isaias Afwerki. Ongoing tensions with neighboring Ethiopia resulted in persistent...
Yeah, like, you gotta be thankful what you have. Even though if you might think you don't have a lot, but there are way many more people who are like way off worse than you. It's sad.
Persistent border conflicts. The political landscape took a disastrous turn, primarily attributed to Isaias Afwerki, the leader of the People's Front for Democracy and Justice. He was initially appointed as interim president until the first elections, but in reality, there were no elections or any other democratic elements. He abolished all other parties immediately, and even 3 decades post-independence, even to this day, 30 years after independence, there has not been a single election in Eritrea.
No elections.
He openly admitted that he had no intention of holding elections for decades to come. In addition to political issues, the military service in Eritrea underwent a drastic change, extending from its original duration of 6 months to a lifelong commitment. Essentially, individuals are subject to forced labor indefinitely, a mandate that applies even to women. There is no room for refusal, and at times even school-age children are conscripted in the service. The military retains absolute authority, and the nation remains completely isolated, quashing any dissent or external assistance. Widespread human rights abuses, including arbitrary killings, arrests, forced disappearances, torture, and severe restrictions on freedom of expression, religion, and assembly are prevalent. Eritrea has one of the highest proportions of citizens living outside the country, estimated at about 1/5 of the total population. Only through them does any information about the country reach the outside world, as the ruler tightly controls the flow of information. This is why so little is reported about the country.
If it's virus, I can send 10. What? GG, it's a virus.
However, it is crucial not to overlook Eritrea and to shed light on the dictator's atrocities. Currently, there appears to be little hope for change in the foreseeable future. Eritrea's political situation remains highly repressive. President Afwerki's regime exerts tight control over all aspects of society, including the economy, media, and civil society. The absence of democratic governance and respect for human rights has led to widespread international condemnation and scrutiny. Eritrea faces a sea of challenges, including economic stagnation, youth unemployment, and mass immigration driven by political repression and lack of opportunities. Despite these challenges, Eritrea possesses immense potential for growth and prosperity. Its strategic location, natural resources, and resilient population provide a foundation for progress and resilience. However, meaningful change requires genuine political reform, respect for human rights, and inclusive governance. As Eritrea navigates its future, the international community must stand in solidarity with its people and support efforts to promote democracy, human rights, and sustainable development.
Well, not
Thank
always,
you for watching.
but most
See
of
you
the
in the
times.
next one.
Yep. I guess I'll check the link now. He's like a voice in my head at this point. Low key, yeah.
Special needs girl loses her V card. She loves it. Is that the bang bus?
Come on now, dog.
Bro, if the titles and thumbnails are this crazy, I gotta see what the fucking videos look like.
He never pulled like any girls.
Damn,
ever.
he gets no play.
He took advantage of you and everything.
Dharma going crazy.
Not even 20 seconds in and this guy's molesting a fucking tree. So right when you think that the intro is gonna be the worst part of it, nah, it gets even crazier. So our story begins with this lovely guy chilling in a cell. Why? Well, it's soon revealed it was because he was diddling with quite a special person. And to make it even worse, we get to see the flashback about this. And in this very flashback, you're about to see that this guy might be the biggest fucking loser ever.
He never pulled like any girls.
Yeah, I do.
Big glasses
this guy's about
equals
to
nerd.
fuck up badly, bro. I have no faith in this guy.
Ew.
Yup.
What do you want?
Yep, he's done. He's done already.
You. As if I would talk to someone like you.
I'm not gonna lie, if that was me, I would have been.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He shot up the place, feeling like a little bitch. He decided to go somewhere
Can't be
quiet
that
and
ugly.
alone.
Come
and
on,
this
bro.
is where he met quite the special person in his life.
Why is he in a corner watching a
Hello?
video?
Do not ever pull some corny shit like that. Oh my.
Did you know you have the most beautiful eyes in the world?
This has got to be the most awkward shit to film.
Do you know how beautiful you are?
I always liked you.
Me too. Always had feelings for you. Are you ready?
Whoa! Whoa!
I'm nervous.
Hey, are you? Hey, I didn't even skip anything. What
Okay, bro.
They got straight to the point. And somehow the cops caught his ass before he managed to bust a nut. Either the cops are fast as fuck or this guy gotta be the reincarnation of Johnny Sins.
Stephen applied for job after job, getting denied by every single employer. No one wanted to hire him because of his new criminal record.
So we go back to the
What
special
did he
girl,
even
she's
do?
chilling in the park
What?
waiting for her friend. And then out of nowhere, this total freak proceeds to approach her and look what he does.
What's your name?
My name's Carly.
Hey, what the?
Why would you just punch a disabled
doing
person?
That nowadays. As if the story couldn't get any crazier, the girl gets kidnapped and then this guy sees it. That's gotta be the most shittiest acting ever. The guy then takes the girl to his house and then what you're about to see is about to blow your fucking mind. Whoa! This guy has a fucking dungeon! He's giggling about it too. Wow, this guy is actually a fucking villain.
Actual dungeon.
Oh, okay, and all okay. So there's bodies down here. Okay, who the fuck are we dealing with right now?
You'll make an excellent
What?
addition
Bro is a
to my
villain.
Autistic severed head collection.
Wow, this guy. What
I feel
type
like I
of
should
timing
be
is
offended.
this guy on?
So he only collects autistic people? The fuck?
Yo, okay. This guy took a perk and started geeking, bro.
Bro's a furry.
What am I even watching? Where the fuck did they come from?
Secret FBI.
Okay, I don't. Yeah, this has gotta be the worst fucking shit I've.
I do anything wrong.
What the hell did I just watch?
He didn't touch you, did he? I love you.
Yeah, shut your bitch ass up. We don't care about this little corny ending.
I believe you, Steven. You really do care about Carly. It takes a good man to do what you just did.
Shut the fuck. Yo, this acting is so terrible, bro. Holy shit. His acting makes him seem like he's nutty, not like he's dying.
I've learned so much from you. You're an inspiration for our generation.
As Kari and Steven emerge from the eerie dungeon, they cautiously explore their surroundings and stumble upon a time machine.
Okay, I don't even know what fucking plot twist and turns this story is taken. We went from a special needs girl getting fucked into a time machine in a dungeon.
Carly, not knowing better, presses the
this
button.
stupid bitch. Oh my. I don't know what the hell I just watched, but I'm glad it's over. I honestly don't know what the purpose of this channel is. Tomorrow's teachings, y'all ain't teaching shit, and their description cannot be any more false. Let's make this world a better place one video at a time. This is not helping the world. This is not improving anybody's lives. You just need to quit. And they have a bunch of other weird ass videos like this. So if you guys want me to make another video on this, just let me know.
Wait, no, this might be actually a good content. Tomorrow's teaching. The fuck going on?
Coming up.
Okay, bro. What? What sister catches her brother edging? What? White kid shamed for his small wiener. White girl makes black kid hair. Okay. Bro, what is this? Nah. Bro, this is the fuck. No, this actually might be something interesting to watch. Another link. Save.
Marilyn Monroe was typecast as the dumb blonde.
What were you doing with that man?
Well, I accidentally put my legs in the air, not the pool, but the sky and water look so similar, and then this millionaire just fell into me.
She was made to play up her sexuality even when the role didn't call for it.
My son's extremely ill.
Cut, bit more sensual, please, Marilyn, like your son's a hottie.
My son's extremely ill.
Cut, come on, imagine it's one of the sexy cancers.
My son's extremely ill.
Cut, we're gonna change the line. Marilyn, can you read this one instead, please?
Son.
Perfect, that's a wrap.
She fought to prove she should be given other roles.
You're saying you've been unfairly typecast.
He can play so many characters, like an old man. Listen.
Hello, I'm an old man. That is remarkable. It kind of sounds like you have just got an old man off the street.
No, I'm definitely the professional dancer Marilyn Michaels. Monroe Michaels.
And deliberately reduced her attractiveness to avoid being objectified.
I've got a horrible skin infection.
Well, your skin looks lovely to me.
No, I'm secreting so much pus.
Well, I know someone who'll lick it off.
It's mixed with blood and coagulated in my armpit hair.
Ugh, you got armpit hair.
But the sky.
Dad, what is that thumbnail?
This country is worse than North Korea.
Started as an
In 2018, a little-known republic nestled deep in the heart of Central Asia,
41 minutes? That's pretty long. Pause.
Disculpe, senor, you dropped your... Sorry, but I don't have any pesos. I'm trying to return your wallet. And you need to return to Mexico. Te arrepentiraste este, chino.
Crazy phone call.
Help, a Mexican broke into our house. That's probably just a housekeeper. He has a gun. Can't you just call immigration services? I think he has your wallet. What? I am coming right now. Mr. Mexican, face my run. What the hell? There's a calculator with a note. It says, I want you to give me 6 times 8423. 6 times 8423 equals 50538. I don't understand. Wait a minute. The note says, I want you to give me pesos. So you planned this whole thing just to rob me? Okay? No, you read it wrong. The note says, I want you to give me pesos.
Hey, yo.
You said this wasn't part of the fucking plan! This could be...
Classic.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy, Delight.
1 hour. Why dying for 17 billion years is the optional way to play Buckshot? Not sure about that.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Backshot Roulette. I am Delightful Kiss Boy, and I am here to present.
I don't think I really care about the Buckshot Roulette gameplays.
Devised what appeared to be a brilliant strategy to halt the widespread exodus of skilled and educated workers, a challenge that afflicts many developing nations worldwide. Its solution was straightforward. It simply stopped allowing anyone to leave, effectively transforming the entire country into a virtual prison twice the size of the United Kingdom. Indeed, Turkmenistan touts itself as a nation of pragmatic solutions. That same year, then-President Berdy Muhammadov, attributing bad luck to the presence of black cars, banned their importation. Soon, citizens across the country began waking up to find that their cars had vanished overnight, having been towed away by the authorities. To get them back, owners were forced to pay for a repaint, often at unaffordable prices. Before long, this unusual mandate was extended to include all colored cars.
Can't have black cars.
Hence, should you ever find yourself scanning satellite images of Turkmenistan, you'll be met with a monochromatic sea of white vehicles, which just so happens to be the former president's favorite color. But Berdy Muhammadov's eccentricities pale in comparison to his predecessor, Niyazov, self-titled as His Excellency, the great leader of the Turkmen and God's prophet on earth. In a grandiose display of concern for his nation's health, Niyazov carved a colossal 37-kilometer staircase into the Kopet Dag mountain range. He mandated that politicians climb it yearly in a so-called health walk, while he watched from above in a helicopter before chastising them at the finish line for their slow pace. The array of bewildering decrees issued by Turkmenistan's leaders appears limitless. Days of the week, months of the year, breeds of horses, and even craters on the moon have been personally renamed to the preferences of whichever leader is in charge at the time. At one point, Niyazov literally renamed bread after his mother. Another bizarre incident saw him advise citizens to chew on bones to enhance dental health, citing the absence of dogs in dental offices as his justification. Dogs, however, have become scarce in the capital on account of them being banned for their, quote, unappealing odor. This prohibition is just one of many in a relentless series of efforts over the last 3 decades aimed at transforming the capital city into an immaculate, pristine, and grand vision of a dictator's personal paradise. Vast neighborhoods have been reduced to rubble to make way for a breathtaking number of skyscrapers, monuments, parks, stadiums, and palaces, each crafted from impeccable Italian marble and then lined with gold. So much
Italiano.
marble has been used to build the city that it earned it a Guinness World Record, along with the largest indoor pool, the largest indoor Ferris wheel, the largest architectural star, and the most fountain pools in a public space, an irony given the country's severe water scarcity. But beyond the grandeur of its gleaming marble city and the often comical antics of its leaders, little about Turkmenistan is amusing for those forced to live within its borders.
Can't skip it. Facts. Fuck your mojo. And gambling ad. Fantastic. At least I can skip it.
In August 2023, a distressing scene unfolded in the extensive cotton
Bro,
fields
YouTube
of
has so many
Turkmenistan's
gambling
Lebap
ads.
province. Beneath the
insane.
sweltering heat exceeding 104 degrees Fahrenheit, tens of thousands toiled tirelessly by hand to gather the annual cotton harvest. While the sight of diligent laborers in cotton fields is not by itself unusual, the composition of this workforce was anything but ordinary. Instead of seasonal agricultural workers, this
What are you
vast
on
sea of
about?
labor comprised teachers,
never
doctors,
gamble.
lawyers, flight attendants, state workers, and even school children, none of whom were there by choice or paid. Under a presidential decree, both state agencies and private companies forced half of their staff to pick cotton during the week, with full participation required
Come
on
on,
weekends, facing the risk of public humiliation and
facts.
job loss, a daunting prospect in a country with a staggering 70% unemployment rate. Workers reluctantly complied as they struggled to meet their daily cotton quota of 55 pounds. Ever since gaining independence from the Soviet Union, Turkmenistan's leaders have painstakingly reinstated Stalinist rule. Today, the country stands as one of the last true totalitarian dictatorships. Secret police resort to torture and use psychotropic drugs against political opponents. Those perceived as
well, that's
enemies of
lovely.
the state are publicly paraded on live television, coerced into confessions, and forced to beg for mercy to spare their families from similar fates. Afterwards, they vanish without a trace. Mere criticism
Literally
of the government
Stalin.
in
Yeah.
any form is deemed treasonous, often resulting in lengthy prison sentences, confinement to psychiatric facilities, or exile to the desolate salt flats by the Caspian Sea. The level of repression is so extreme that last year, Turkmenistan was ranked as the second worst country in the world for freedom, a position even lower than Taliban-controlled Afghanistan, war-torn Eritrea, and the infamous
Afghanistan even
North
better.
Korea. But with the transition of power from Berdi Muhammadov to his son in 2022, marking Central Asia's first hereditary secession since the era of the Khans, hope for improvement in the
It's
near
not that
future
good.
has all but been extinguished. It's hardly surprising then that many are desperate to leave
Maybe-
in search of a better life
Maybe they're thinking about socialism, but I don't know. People are dumb.
elsewhere, assuming the government does not successfully stop them first. But how did Turkmenistan become such a dystopian nightmare? How do its leaders maintain such an absolute grip on power?
Doesn't
And
work on
where
humans.
does the seemingly endless supply of money that sustains the regime come from? This is the story of Turkmenistan, the strangest dictatorship in the world.
Fair. What the fuck is that?
Today's video is sponsored by Text Riv All Gates On September 9th, 1879, Russian military forces began a severe bombardment of Gyoktepe, a city encircled by a formidable wall made out of mud, 18
That's
feet
some
thick
medieval
and
shit.
10 feet tall, sheltering 40,000
Damn.
Turkmen. Despite their technological advantages, the Russian troops, limited in number and supplies, suffered heavy losses in their frontal assault on the city, forcing a strategic retreat to their base on the Caspian Sea.
They lost
Driven
to
by
that?
objectives to secure its southern frontier, advance its economic interests, and enhance its global
About what,
stature,
man?
Russia had been gradually expanding its dominion over Central Asia. But the humiliating defeat at Gyoktepe marked Russia's first major setback in its imperial goals in 164 years. Located at the southern fringe of Central Asia, Gyoktepe was located in what is today modern Turkmenistan. The
Girl tells you she wants to... That means she wants to shit on you. Like what? That means that she has a fucking shit fetish. Do you have a shit fetish?
Area was primarily inhabited by nomadic tribes who roamed the extent.
She wants to shit all over you, bro. Now that's on you. What you gonna do with that? I mean, that's not like she's telling you to eat it. She's just shitting on you.
Karakum Desert, subsisting on livestock herding and raiding passing trade caravans. Despite the harshness of their existence, these tribes earned a reputation for their fierce resistance to external powers and their involvement in the slave trade.
She shits on you, you shit on her. I mean, fair enough. Trade is a trade.
A brutal reality that some of the encroaching Russians experienced firsthand. Recognizing Tepe's strategic importance for conquering the rest of the region, Russia began a more calculated second attack 2 years after their initial defeat. On January 12, 1881, they detonated a tunnel packed with thousands of kilograms of explosives beneath the city.
Okay, that's so cap. What is this relationship? You're capping. I don't believe that. Tried in America, need bad things. In a place where socialism is allowed to be practiced as test. Fails so many times. This wasn't real socialism. Oh. Huh.
Wall. This created a 140-foot wide breach in the city's defenses, enabling Russian forces to flood in. Following a ruthless massacre of the city's residents, the rest of Central Asia soon fell to the Tsar. Over the next 4 decades, Russia made little effort to assimilate the region or its inhabitants into the empire. Although railroads expanded and new cities like Ashgabat emerged, spurred by an influx of Russian migrants, the region's predominantly desert terrain, making up 90% of its geography, hindered any real development.
I mean, I don't mind documentaries. This would say was not real communism. You're very anti-communist. Or before 70s, before America fucked it all up. Yeah, I think I've seen that.
By the eve of World War I, the industrial sector remained.
Why is that a bad word? Looked like normal woman is sus. What? Allow.
Modest, comprising only a few cotton gins, leather processing facilities, and a single steam engine manufacturing plant. By 1916, amid the escalating challenges of a war turning against him, Tsar Nicholas II made the controversial decision to
I don't know, Twitch said it was sus for some reason.
conscript Turkestani Muslims, who had until then been exempt from military
Didn't appear at all. Oh.
service. This decision, combined with a corrupt and oppressive local government, ignited widespread revolts across Central Asia, further fueled by the Russian Revolution the following year. For 8 years, the region was engulfed in severe turmoil, featuring a mix of warfare, revolution, famine, and devastating reforms. Eventually, the Soviet Union emerged from the ashes of the Russian Empire, forcefully bringing Central Asia along in its socialist transformation. By 1924, the last major remnants of resistance had been crushed, and Central Asia was reorganized into distinct ethno-national.
How is India similar to China? But the cheat assist.
Political entities.
It's behind because of USA.
Among these, the Turkmen Soviet Socialist Republic was formally established. In line with the sweeping changes occurring across the Union, the state confiscated all land and forcibly integrated the nomadic population into state-run and collective farms. Concurrently, the government introduced a standardized Turkmen written language and established numerous publishing houses and schools. These initiatives were designed to boost literacy rates, reduce intertribal conflicts, and align the population with Soviet ideals. These measures, together with the violent suppression of political dissent, transformed Turkmenistan into a docile, isolated, and largely overlooked republic within the Soviet sphere. Despite this, several key developments heavily influenced its evolving character. The first of these occurred during the Second World War. as German armies captured significant parts of the Soviet Union's industrial heartland. Many industries were relocated to safer locations, including Central Asia. Turkmenistan received 2 oil processing plants from Azerbaijan, a metal processing plant from southern Russia, and approximately 24 textile plants. However, due to limited infrastructure,
Africa, India, fucking North Korea is behind. Happens when you run to some country, gathering resources and fuck it all up.
in an underdeveloped energy sector, these developments were relatively modest compared to the other republics. Following the war, Turkmenistan remained under-industrialized due to a policy of regionalization. This policy allocated distinct economic roles to each republic based on their unique resources, geographical advantages, and workforce capabilities, all aimed at enhancing the Soviet Union's collective economic performance. More importantly, though, it deliberately made each republic economically dependent on the rest of the Union, thereby reinforcing centralized control. While Turkmenistan's harsh natural conditions were generally unfavorable for many types of economic activities, they were uniquely suited for the cultivation of cotton, a commodity in which the Soviets were determined to achieve self-sufficiency. However, the country's lack of
What? Why would you need hot water to do shit?
significant water seemed to make the dream of transforming Turkmenistan into a cotton powerhouse unobtainable. That changed when Soviet planners designed what would become one of the largest canals in history.
proovi uusi hõrgus piimašokolaadis batoone Kalevilt. Mõnusa
Take shower and wash your booty cheeks after every shit. Why? Is it paper good enough? Toilet paper?
Construction of the Karakum Canal began in 1954, and by 1967, it was channeling 3.2 cubic miles of water annually.
I mean, I don't know. It cleans like 99 point something.
From the Amu Darya River almost to the Caspian Sea, tripling the republic's arable land and its cotton production. Cotton harvests eventually became so immense, it led to the use of forced in-child labor to compensate for the republic's limited workforce. By 1988, children were missing up to 68 school days a year to work in the cotton fields. Due to the policy of regionalization, 97% of the cotton was then shipped directly to Russia for processing, which left Turkmenistan excluded from the industry's value-added benefits and employment opportunities. A similar pattern emerged with the surprising discovery and exploitation of Turkmenistan's most vital resource, natural gas. The first deposits were initially found in the 1930s.
You're not gay, but what? Yeah, that's sus.
But it was not until the 1960s that the republic's truly enormous reserves were confirmed, with an estimated 50 trillion cubic
Hey, nah, bruh. Nah, bruh. I'm good, bro.
meters of natural gas. Turkmenistan found itself holding the 4th largest reserves in the world and the 2nd highest on a per capita basis. By the mid-1980s, production had soared to 72 billion cubic meters annually, second only to Russia itself. Just as with cotton, all of Turkmenistan's natural gas was transported to Russia for processing through a single pipeline. Consistent with the Soviet strategy of subsidizing its economy with artificially low-priced energy, Turkmenistan received only 6 kopecks per 1,000 cubic meters of gas, a rate that was 300 times less than global market prices. In effect, Turkmenistan was essentially being stripped of its natural wealth for the benefit of the other republics. As a result, by the late 1980s, Turkmenistan's per capita income stood at only 70% of the Soviet average, with most of the population living below the official poverty line. Although social indicators had improved from the pre-Soviet era, with notable successes such as achieving full literacy, the republic still suffered from low life expectancy and the highest infant mortality rate in the Union. Further complicating the picture, though, was the leadership's tendency to inflate these figures to enhance their status within the Communist Party. This malpractice led to the removal of Turkmenistan's first secretary in favor of Sabamurat Niyazov amid a 1985 anti-corruption crackdown. Born in 1940 in a small village near Ashgabat, Niyazov was orphaned after the Second World War claimed his father, and a devastating earthquake took his mother and 2 brothers.
They say, oh, Americans are so dumb, but are they to blame? I mean, kinda. They are. Like, their system is cooked. The teacher, government, not the kids. Yeah, blame the government. Or the rich, corrupt people.
6 years later, raised by a distant relative, Niyazov excelled academically, pursued electrical engineering, and joined the Communist Party in 1962. He quickly rose through its ranks, supported by his affiliation with the Teke, the republic's dominant tribe. Upon becoming first secretary of Turkmenistan, Niyazov transformed the Turkmen Communist Party into one of the most rigid and conservative factions within the Soviet Union. Confronted with widespread shortages,
Someone needs health care, take care of them. If someone is dumb, educate them. I mean, yeah.
economic stagnation, and social reforms that spurred turmoil in other republics, Niyazov gained notoriety for his ruthless oppression of any unrest. Despite these conditions, resistance within Turkmenistan was surprisingly minimal, due in part to the predominantly rural.
What did you just say? Huh? I don't remember seeing Homer Simpsons in here anywhere. Yeah, that's not sus at all.
And agricultural nature of its populace. Shaped by decades of Soviet influence, a deep-rooted conservatism fostered a culture of acquiescence to authority. Additionally, Turkmenistan's lack of history as an independent nation-state prior to
Nah, that's crazy. Both of y'all are violating them. That's crazy, bro. They're not even yellow. I don't know why people call them that.
its incorporation into the Russian Empire meant there were few nationalistic impulses to
They literally don't look yellow at all. They look white.
fuel dissent.
Whatever.
Combined with fears of economic collapse, these factors united the population and leadership in their support for maintaining the Union and their place within it. Therefore, by the early 1990s, Turkmenistan remained largely insulated from the sweeping political and economic reforms affecting
What? I mean, a normal Chinese person is white. Like, what do you mean? They look white. Their skin color looks white.
the other republics. However, as the Soviet Union began to unravel in 1991,
That's special skin. Bro.
Turkmenistan was reluctant
That yellow shade? No, I don't. No.
reluctantly pushed toward independence, officially
Whatever,
declaring its
bro.
sovereignty on October 27,
Whatever, bro.
1991.
Let's move on. And I got these nuts. Alright, cool.
On the day Turkmenistan marked its independence, the nation also witnessed its inaugural presidential election, where Niyazov clinched 98.3% of the
Surprisingly, no.
vote, an unsurprising outcome given he was the only candidate. 2 months later,
not?
the Communist Party of Turkmenistan formally disbanded, but this move was merely symbolic. The party simply renamed itself the Democratic Party of Turkmenistan, undergoing minimal actual change. As president of the newly independent nation, Niyazov maintained Soviet-era control mechanisms while most former Soviet republics were embracing major reforms.
Democratic.
Under his leadership, the economy was kept under
Yo.
total government oversight, with comprehensive controls over
Ben
prices,
Shapiro,
wages,
what?
exchange rates, and international trade. By May of 1992, under Niyazov's directive, Turkmenistan adopted a new constitution. Ostensibly, it established a presidential republic with checks and balances, and guaranteed freedoms of religion, expression, and property. In reality, however, it cemented Niyazov's complete authority over all aspects of Turkmen society. Leveraging his monopoly over broadcast media and the press, they were transformed into the official mouthpiece of the Turkmenbashi, a term translating to the great leader of the Turkmen.
Why not just take a dookie and then let it crust and take a shover? Do that. That works. Bro, just like you gotta shit, bro.
Which Niyazov had adopted as his new title. As cities,
Doesn't flush? Oh. GG.
Geographical landmarks, and infrastructure were renamed in honor of the Turkmenbashi.
I mean, just get water to a bucket.
Widespread cult of personality began to take shape. When confronted with comparisons to Stalin, Niyazov remarked, "But Stalin achieved his personality cult through repressive measures, whereas I achieved my popularity without conflicts." Alternative parties were banned as soon as they met membership criteria. Political opponents were eliminated by the secret police, and external information sources were banned or heavily censored.
No, you should not.
Systematically isolating the population from the outside world. Niyazov justified these actions by arguing that economic stability must precede political diversity to prevent descending into anarchy. He claimed that with a decade of his leadership,
You never try, you never know. No, you like it. Why would you like it? You gotta clean those sheets up. And that shit's gonna go all the way in your fucking mattress. Nah, bro. It's over.
Turkmenistan would
You're better off shitting on the floor.
avoid
Small, mentally ill me. Okay. Okay. He's gonna be your project.
such a fate and enter an economic
I'll stop.
golden age. His plan for doing so was straightforward. With complete control over the world's fourth largest natural gas reserves and the ability to sell it at prices 300 times higher than during the Soviet era, Niyazov could appease Turkmenistan's modest population of 4 million by offering free gas, electricity, water, and heavily subsidized food. At the same time, he could enrich himself in the political elite while maintaining an extensive security and propaganda apparatus to ensure his continued rule. But despite Niyazov's optimistic plans, Turkmenistan's economy was entering a death spiral. Over 6 relentless years, the nation's economic output dwindled to less than half of its 1991 level. The fundamental issue facing Turkmenistan was the mismatch between its political independence and its economic autonomy. Stemming from the Soviet policy of regionalization, the country lacked the capacity.
No, I would yell in pain. Why would I moan? Estonian atheist autism. The Slavic infected by Western shit. The other poor guy.
To refine its raw resources and the infrastructure to sell its goods outside of Russia. This economic isolation is highlighted by the lack of even a railway link to neighboring Iran, despite its lands being just 15 miles from Ashgabat. Consequently, Turkmen gas and cotton could only be transported, sold, and processed through Russia. Amid these constraints, Russia exploited Turkmenistan's dependency by purchasing these commodities at significantly lower prices than those on the international market, paying with hard currency for only 50% of this already reduced value. The remainder was frequently paid in goods such as grain, and sometimes not at all. To further enhance its profit margins, Gazprom, Russia's state-owned energy giant and the exclusive buyer of Turkmen gas.
Oh shit, Slovakia. Hey, that's lit. Wait, you were actually... Wait, that's cool. Damn. You're the, second person to my knowledge that has autism. From, my streaming community, I guess. That's cool. But for building... Most racist country in Europe. Really? I thought it was Bulgaria or something.
Strategically limited its purchases to 11
combination of me and Mark, Slavic, and autismistic. That cannot be a word.
billion cubic meters per year, merely an eighth of Turkmenistan's pre-independence production levels. In 1997, the situation
Okay, bro. Best charisma, bro. I have no charisma.
became dire as former
Optimistic.
Soviet republics grappling with
Sloss, you're edging. Why are you edging?
financial
Bruh.
constraints halted their gas payments entirely.
What's the point of edging, bro? Just come. That's it.
Confronted with outstanding payments amounting to a staggering 80% of its GDP,
Yeah.
Turkmenistan ceased gas exports entirely. Meanwhile, cotton production suffered a catastrophic 50% decline.
Oof. We're the Gen Z low Europeans. It's unhealthy. Yeah.
The lack of hard currency severely restricted the import of essential supplies like fertilizers, tractors, and cotton picking machines, crippling the agricultural sector. This crisis was exacerbated by Niyazov's policy of making water free for citizens and
Masturbated.
farmers, which removed incentives for its efficient use, leading to severe water shortages and a 43% drop in output per acre over 7 years. With both of its
Wait, at the raid? Wait, I do remember now. Honestly, I didn't remember, but now that you say that, I do. Yeah. Now I remember. Yeah, chemical. Shit. Yeah, you've been here. You just became more okay.
key industries in ruins, the population's living standards began to deteriorate, threatening the stability of the regime. But the solution to these challenges was surprisingly simple. The country needed access to global
Me, you're also a different person.
markets by building alternative natural gas pipelines
Nah, bro, it's fine. You do you, type shit.
and
We all got our own lives to deal with.
railroads to bypass Russia's monopsony, a monopoly on the demand side of a market. Developing such infrastructure would bring in a surge of hard currency, which could then be strategically used to address input shortages and establish value-added industries for its raw resources. In 1996,
Oh, you were just. Alright, fair enough.
the first rail
It'd be like
connection with
that.
Iran was established, providing access to the Persian
Hey, yo.
Gulf.
Nah.
The following year, a
Spank yourself, bro.
125-mile pipeline was built to connect Turkmenistan's gas fields to Iran's remote northeast. Despite its modest annual capacity of 4 billion cubic meters, actual exports seldom reached even a third of this capacity, also hindered by Iran's ability to make payments. Building on these initial developments, a more ambitious proposal surfaced.
Like a mother to you too, or allow you to do bury. What did I just read? Just watch without saying anything. Yeah, alright, fair. It's just too peaceful. You're sick ahead.
A pipeline intended to transport 33 billion cubic meters of gas over 1,000 miles to Pakistan and India. But the routes
You will be an amazing woman, but you're a man. You're a whole ass dude. Nah, you might as well become a femboy at that point.
need to traverse Taliban-controlled Afghanistan ultimately made the project unfeasible. A more promising proposal was the Trans-Caspian Pipeline, intended to transport gas beneath the Caspian Sea through Azerbaijan and Georgia to Turkey and
What? That's insane.
onward to Western Europe.
How do you molest yourself?
Yet maritime disputes with Azerbaijan stalled
I guess I get molested every day then. Shit.
negotiations over transit fees and financing issues indefinitely
What?
postponed the project. Despite these setbacks, the discussions led to significant diplomatic outcomes, including a meeting between Niyazov and US President Bill Clinton. These talks focused on energy deals and strategies for accessing global markets without depending on routes through Iran or Russia. Although these plans faltered as well, they were enough to compel Russia to sign a far more favorable gas agreement with Turkmenistan, driven by concerns over losing its influence over the country and the broader region. as the volume and value of gas exports to Russia skyrocketed. Turkmenistan's persistent trade deficit turned into a surplus by the year 2000.
I mean, I don't think that's a good idea. Rich people are more powerful. GG.
This turnaround was complemented by efforts to construct modern textile factories, repurpose farmland for domestic food production, and renovate an old Soviet oil refinery. These initiatives collectively fueled an enormous economic boom, positioning Turkmenistan as one of the fastest growing economies on the planet. As the new century dawned, Niyazov would leverage these surging revenues and his extraordinary political strength to usher in his own personal utopia.
What am I, a girl? Oh, hell no, bro. And we got a gamble ad. Let's go. Gamble time.
On December 28, 1999, a newly elected
Everyone doing this shit?
parliament,
Think so expensive?
composed solely of
I mean, yeah. Everything's getting expensive.
candidates handpicked
Especially in America.
by Niyazov, bestowed upon him the title of President for Life.
Yep.
Liberated from the need to even fake fair elections, Niyazov began to fully act upon his grandiose delusions. Assuming the role of spiritual and cultural arbiter of the Turkmen nation, Niyazov banned ballets, operas, beards, and cinemas for being insufficiently Turkmen, and closed all schools offering education in foreign languages. Additionally, he demanded that all state employees prove Turkmen racial purity traceable back 3 generations, prompting a mass exodus of the highly skilled Russian population. Following a personal health scare involving heart issues, Niyazov banned public smoking and constructed the infamous 37-kilometer Walk of Health, mandating that Turkmen citizens and politicians complete it annually. In 2001, he introduced his 400-page Runama, a pseudo-national Bible that emphasized Turkmen nationalism. Within its pages, Niyazov was depicted as a godlike figure who saved the nation
I mean, yeah, I get that, yeah. Years to be passing quick.
from Soviet imperialism and was destined to usher in an era of prosperity, initially dominating the shelves of bookstores
Why not?
and the desks of state offices. The Runama soon became required in mosques and churches, placed alongside every Quran and Bible.
Meet an era. What? Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay, what?
Its teachings were then integrated into the national education
I ain't touching any drugs.
system, becoming not just required
What are you, a cult leader or some shit?
reading, but the central component
no.
of the curriculum. Prisoners were forced to swear an oath on it for release, doctors had to pledge their allegiance to it, and drivers, teachers, and civil servants were forced to pass examinations on its content. Those caught criticizing the book, even privately, faced up to 5 years in prison. As Niyazov's assertions about the Runama grew increasingly bizarre, he declared that reading the book 3 times would guarantee entry into heaven. Then, in a symbolic gesture of its supposed universal significance, a copy of the Runama was even launched into orbit, intended to, quote, conquer space. The book thus became the linchpin of a now perfected brainwashing apparatus. Across radio, television, and the newspapers,
What? Guard eyebrow.
the Turkmenbashi, his family background, and his various supposed achievements were incessantly praised. Every broadcast began with an ominous pledge that the broadcaster's tongue will shrivel if he slanders the country, flag, or president. The cult of personality surrounding Niyazov reached such extremes that days, months, and even bread were renamed in honor of him, his mother, the Runama, and other symbols of Turkmen nationalism. His image saturated public and private spaces alike, displayed in enormous portraits and statues across the country and on every banknote, coin, and postage stamp. Even airplane cabins and passenger trains were required to feature his portrait, ensuring a constant, omnipresent reminder of his rule. But Niyazov's most ambitious endeavor was the transformation of Ashgabat into a testament of his wealth and power. Ignoring the potential for these vast gas revenues to improve the general welfare, he chose instead to import Italian marble for the construction of lavish monuments, gigantic mosques, luxury apartments, and gold-domed palaces for himself. Additionally, billions were blown on seemingly whimsical projects, like an enormous desert lake that quickly evaporated, extravagant fountain displays, zoos with Arctic animals, and a towering 200-foot-tall arch topped with a gold statue of himself that rotates with the sun. In a striking example of excess, the city's main avenue was lined with 22 five-star hotels in a country that rarely allows visitors. To accommodate these prestige projects, entire neighborhoods were demolished, often without offering compensation or adequate alternative housing to the displaced residents. Hidden behind the unaffordable marble apartments, growing slums were filled with windowless, single-room homes, some crudely fashioned from old railway containers that baked during the scorching summers. Many inhabitants of these areas succumbed to opium addiction, a situation worsened by the unchecked influx of drugs from neighboring Afghanistan. In rural areas, remnants of Soviet-era policies persisted, with forced and child labor still prevalent in the cotton fields, creating a stark contrast between the opulent displays of wealth and the harsh realities faced by the general population.
Another ad. Gamba. I can't skip this ad. Mojo Jojo in your asshole.
Purina One by
No
Fences
Gamba.
aitab hoida sinu kassi silmnähtavalt ilusana, toetades tema soolestiku mikrobiomi ja tugevdada tema immuunsussüsteemi.
Looks tasty, cat food.
But resistance to Niyazov's regime from the general population remained virtually non-existent. Despite the widespread unemployment and low wages that plagued the economy, free gas, electricity, and water, along with heavily subsidized prices for food and other essentials, helped to quell discontent. This, coupled with relentless propaganda and a pervasive climate of fear, effectively stifled any grassroots opposition. But the situation escalated dramatically on the morning of November 25, 2002, when Niyazov's motorcade was ambushed, leading to a deadly shootout. This failed assassination and coup attempt triggered a sweeping purge of political elite and citizens alike. Hundreds of individuals and their families were subjected to show trials, received lengthy prison sentences, and subsequently vanished without a trace. In an atmosphere thick with paranoia, informers were recruited to eavesdrop
People around him for sure.
on private conversations. Psychotropic drugs were used to torture detainees, and roadblocks were established every few miles as a permanent measure. Car radios were banned to reduce background noise during surveillance, and all public gatherings, including weddings and funerals, now needed government approval. Further restrictions limited citizens' ability to leave the country, notably prohibiting women.
What am I reading?
Under 35 from traveling abroad unless they had 2 children, framed as a duty to perpetuate the Turkmen race. With his death in 2006, Niyazov left behind one of the most repressive totalitarian regimes on the planet. Citizens had virtually no rights.
So why is it gotta be sexual?
The average monthly income was a mere $60, and the few positive legacies of the Soviet era, healthcare and education, had all but been dismantled. Across the country, all hospitals, kindergartens, and libraries outside of the capital were shut down. Thousands of healthcare workers were replaced with untrained military personnel, the mandatory years of schooling were reduced, and hundreds of thousands had their pensions canceled or dramatically cut. As these measures plunged the population deeper into poverty, reports indicated that a significant portion of Turkmenistan's annual gas revenues, estimated at nearly $2 billion, were being diverted into the personal offshore accounts owned by the president. Despite leaving behind a substantial and potentially explosive power vacuum, having not named a successor to his all-encompassing cult of personality, there was a sense of cautious optimism upon Niyazov's death. This wasn't due to confidence in whoever would come next, but rather from the stark recognition that circumstances could hardly get any worse. On December 21st, 2006, Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov was appointed acting president, a decision that took everyone by surprise. According to the constitution, this role should have been filled by Ovesgeldia Tayev, the chairman of
I guess I think I remember that. But
of the People's Council. However, Atayev was quickly disqualified following a sudden and suspicious criminal investigation that led to his imprisonment. Berdy, who had
Man, I'm never getting a wife because marriage is a scam. I wish I had a girlfriend though.
previously served as Nyazov's personal dentist, had risen through the ranks of the political hierarchy to become the deputy chairman of the cabinet of ministers, where he was involved in dismantling the free healthcare system. While there were rumors that Berdy might be Nyazov's illegitimate son, it is more likely that he was chosen by the elite as a safe candidate who could maintain the status quo and ensure a smooth transition of power.
She's the one if, I don't know, she doesn't treat you like shit. We'll never cheat and we'll always be with her. And same for the woman. Yeah, but you can do that without being married. Like, I don't see any point of marriage.
2007, Berdy was elected president in an election widely regarded as rigged, flouting constitutional rules that barred the acting president from running. Inheriting the same absolute power as his predecessor, Berdy quickly began to reverse many of Nyazov's most extreme decrees, ushering in what he termed the era of New Renaissance. He reinstated pensions, sickness and maternity benefits, and lifted bans on opera, cinema, and ballet. He also reopened hospitals in the provincial areas and restored the original number of mandatory school years. Additionally, he reversed many of Nyazov's controversial renamings, including those of days and months. The Runama was phased out from public and educational spheres, and most of the portraits and statues of Nyazov were removed. However, these symbols of the past leader were gradually replaced with images and writings of Berdy, as he began to cultivate his own cult of personality. But the most important early development in Berdy's reign was the construction of a new gas pipeline in 2009. Spanning well over 1,000 miles, this pipeline traversed Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, ultimately reaching China. By 2015, 2 additional pipelines were completed to China, collectively boasting a capacity of 55 billion cubic meters annually, surpassing any volume previously imported by Russia. This new connection to the Chinese market proved crucial for Turkmenistan when, in 2009, a combination of a Russian pipeline explosion and a sharp decline in European demand due to the financial crisis led Russia to significantly reduce both the volume and price of the Turkmen gas it purchased. This reduction swiftly strained relations, leading to a rapid deterioration in the trade relationship between the two countries. By 2015, China was purchasing 95% of Turkmenistan's gas exports. From 2007 to 2014, this shift in trade partners significantly boosted Turkmenistan's economy, which grew by a staggering 19% annually. The economy more than tripled in size, with annual revenues from gas exports alone approaching $10 billion. These revenues, bolstered by additional Chinese financing, enabled Berdy to follow in Nyazov's footsteps.
You better be trolling.
Blowing money on marble prestige projects, diverting funds into his private accounts, and implementing bizarre policies. This included a ban on satellite dishes and air conditioners in the capital, because Berdy deemed them ugly, while he commissioned the construction of more monuments, personal palaces, and gold statues depicting himself, his horses, and his dogs. He also launched the development of the Avaza tourist zone on the Caspian Sea, envisioned as a Turkmen version of Las Vegas. This ambitious project included casinos, resorts, convention centers, sports complexes, and water parks, all of course made out of...
Yeah, you know it's bad if spam is starting this year.
Marble.
Locked up, yeah.
Additionally, he oversaw the construction of a new $2.3 billion airport shaped like a falcon, designed to accommodate 14 million passengers annually as part of his plan to diversify into the tourism industry. He did not, however, make it easier for tourists to enter the country. Only 10,000 people are allowed in each year, most of whom are oil and gas experts.
Most who are oiled up and ready to go. I'll stop. Yeah, sperm. And we got a gambling ad. Let's go. W2, bro, promoting for everyone.
In 2012, claiming to usher in the era of might and happiness, he was re-elected with an implausibly high 97% of the vote. But Turkmenistan's excessive reliance on gas revenues quickly ushered in a period of shortages and stagnation instead. The impact of the shale revolution in the United States, coupled with OPEC's strategy to increase energy production to defend its market share, caused oil and gas prices to plummet. Turkmenistan's exports halved, wiping out a fifth of its economy. A budget surplus of 10% of GDP quickly turned into a 3% deficit, severely restricting the government's ability to import essential goods. This drastic economic downturn resulted in widespread shortages of basic necessities such as flour, cooking oil, and sugar, causing rationing and rising instances of starvation. Furthermore, mass layoffs in state-owned industries propelled the unemployment rate to an alarming 70%. In response to this crisis, the government permanently revoked citizens' free access to essentials and resorted to stealing funds from the population. For 6 months in 2017, 20% of monthly salaries from employees in the oil and gas sector were deducted to finance the hosting of the Asian Indoor and Martial Arts Games. In 2021, school administrations went as far as forcing orphans to redirect state-provided funds intended for their personal support to pay for school renovations. Moreover, the practice of forcing tens of thousands of students and workers to participate in unpaid cotton harvesting has continued unabated, persisting even today. During Birdie's tenure, there were no notable advances in political and social freedoms. The government continued to suppress or forcibly disappear political dissidents, and regular purges were conducted to eliminate perceived threats within the party. Access to external information was further restricted, travel constraints were tightened to stem the outpouring of skilled workers, and corruption ran rampant. By 2018, it was reported that officials had accumulated $23 billion in offshore accounts. Contrary to the prevailing belief that Birdie would remain in power until his death, he surprisingly stepped down from his leadership position in 2022. This move cleared the path for his son, Serdar, to successfully run for the presidency, securing a 73% majority in an election widely regarded as predetermined. Pledging to uphold his father's policies, Serdar's reign began on strong footing. Propelled by geopolitical tensions and China's emergence from lockdowns, natural gas prices and revenues began to surge once again. But Serdar's leadership was short-lived. Doubts about his ability to steer the nation through a period of renewed interest in its gas resources began to emerge among the Turkmen elite,
I don't do hugs, bro.
including his father. Just 11 months after stepping down as president, Birdie's role as chairman of the upper house of parliament was elevated to the national leader of the Turkmen people, superseding his son's authority and dampening hopes for real change.
Maybe from a female, bro, but not with a guy. I'm good.
From its early days as a land of nomads wandering the desert, through its forceful incorporation into the Russian and then Soviet empires, and into an era where its dictators have full reign to indulge in their marble and gold-infused delusions, Turkmenistan has endured a history marked by external domination and internal repression. As long as the global demand for the country's vast hydrocarbon resources continues and the government maintains absolute control over its production, significant improvements in the lives of the people
kiss me on my hot mouth.
This stranglehold on the industry enables the government to comfortably sustain its self-serving regime, using its revenues to fund extensive security and propaganda efforts that effectively suppress any meaningful opposition. The absence of pressure, whether from within the government, at the grassroots level, or from the international community, suggests that economic and political liberalization, crucial for improving the lives of the population, is unlikely to occur anytime soon. Thus, it appears Turkmenistan is poised to remain one of the world's last totalitarian regimes, possibly even the last. Don't miss out on War Thunder, the definitive vehicle combat experience on PC.
And the last link.
Have you ever wondered what cocaine feels like? Here's our latest case study on Pure Colombian. Step 1 is shock. Step 2 is complete numbness of the body, followed by loss of consciousness. There it is. Then she'll wake up and wonder, where the fuck am I? How the fuck did I get here? Then you go back to step 3 and repeat the process over and over until you're completely out of money, and you end up on the street having to suck. Have you ever wondered what cocaine feels like? Here's our...
How's that cocaine? But whatever. For the end of the video, yeah, true. End of the video, so you don't have to skip. All right, but anyway, it's late for me. As always, love all your mentors. Hope you enjoyed your stay, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. So, peace out and good night.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I might not be that guy, but I am that fella. Or I am that pingus.